this is Michael Buffer, and let's get ready for EJ Boxing Live.
To this day. Yo, what's going on, people, man? EJ Boxing Live here. So, it's Canelo Alvarez, the greatest super middleweight champion of all times. There's been some great super middleweight champions, and the UK have their run of it. But is Canelo Alvarez going to be, or is he right now, the greatest super middleweight champion of all time? Well, a man who has something to say about that. I believe his name is Canelo Soul Alvarez. No, his name is Caleb Plant, and I'm sure he has something to say about. So, without further ado, let's hear from the man himself, Caleb Plant. Where are you, Caleb? Let's see what you have to say about it.
People will see soon.
Right. I know you've worked, super hard to get here. People say Canelo Alvarez sweepstakes, but I think that's kind of disrespectful. It's not a sweepstakes. You had to work your ass off to even be on the doorstep of an opportunity like this against the best fighter in the world and the biggest star in the sport. But I know that you're not in awe of it. But what would it mean to fight Canelo Alvarez for all 4 titles? I mean, that's the kind of fight people dream of.
Yeah. Even years ago, I would tell Jordan, I'm like, man, if Canelo could beat Callum and Billy and get those 2 belts, and me and David fight, and I get that belt, I feel like we can have a crazy showdown. And unfortunately for some, they weren't able to make that happen. But I've stuck to my end of the bargain, and I've held up my end of the deal, and it's getting closer and closer. And this is a fight that I want. I've said I've won it in the past. And, it's a fight that I know that I can win.
Right. And look, I know obviously you're with Louis DeCubas Jr. and Al Heyman, and they've both done a great job guiding you, and they're looking out for your best interests. I know that you're not going to just take any deal. There's no fight yet. The deal has to be right. And if it's not right, you have other options in the PBC universe with whether it's Jamal Charlo or David Benavidez, right?
I mean, at the end of the day, I do have a lot of options. There's a lot of big fights to be made, a lot of money to be made, and a lot of fights that the fans want to see. And so I do have a lot of options. But, at the end of the day, I'm not looking for a penny more than I'm owed, but I also don't want a penny less. And I know what some fighters who have been paid, and, and I'm not talking about Callum or Billy, because at the end of the day, I feel like Eddie kind of sold them out for a little bit of money. And I'm already making great money. I'm already a 7-figure fighter a couple of times over. So as far as, bringing certain deals to me, it needs to be right. I want it to be right. I want it to be fair. Not even right, but I just want it to be fair. And, it's a fight that the fans want, and I'm looking to become the first undisputed super middleweight. So.
Yeah, and for context, believe Callum Smith made around 5.5. Billy Joe Saunders made $8 million. And then we had Sergey Kovalev at like a $12 million package. So there's definitely a range there, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
And look, Canelo Alvarez is the biggest star in boxing right now. What I do love is that we see his personality coming out more. Now we saw Demetrius Andrade crash the press conference. Canelo wasn't having it. He told him, get the fuck out of here. We know you could talk trash with the best of them too. What kind of promotion could this be?
I don't know. I'm going to stick to who I am and what I do. And if I feel something in the moment, I'm not going to shy away from it. Whether that's in the ring, if I make a certain move and I maybe look out to the crowd, if I feel in the moment, I'm going to express myself freely. And, it doesn't matter who's in front of me. If I'm fighting Canelo, if I'm fighting, it wouldn't matter who I'm fighting. If you're across from me, whether we're in the ring or out of it, and I feel it and it's on my heart, then that's what I'm going to say. And that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I know you're a man who really respects hard work, and I think in Canelo Alvarez and Rio, we have 2 of the hardest working guys in the game. Canelo's always in great shape too. He always wants the best, just like you. And what does it mean to you though that he's been keeping the same energy all along? He keeps saying, "I only want Caleb Plant."
That's cool. I mean, that's good for him. He wants to become undisputed, and I've been saying that I've been keeping the same energy as well. So, he can say what he wants. He can keep the same energy. When that bell rings, I feel like he's going to be in front of someone, that who has the mentality and the mindset and the heart as someone that he hasn't been in front of for a long time. So, when it comes to he's been fighting these, UK level guys, European type guys, and that's cool. But as far as him fighting the top, Floyd, Lara, Triple G, he's 1-3. So at the end of the day, he's just a man, and he's looked human in some of these bigger fights as well. So as far as what he did to Billy and the fashion that he won, that scaring me or making me more nervous, anything like that, that's not the case. So
no, you don't strike me as the type of guy.
Well, there's not more to say about that. You know what I mean? So that's heard it for yourself. That's Caleb Plant, man. He's feeling himself. He's feeling good. He's feeling that he's gonna be the undisputed champion. Just chilling, man. We said was at Jed. Just chilling, bro. Was at the state boxing title amateur. Okay, cool. Nice, Jed, man. At least you got boxing over there, man. Over in the UK, we still ain't got no shows or nothing like that, man. COVID, supposed to be lifted on the 17th, but we have to find out. The things will be lifted on the 17th, but we're gonna find out how that works and stuff like that over here. But yeah, so they're looking at a big showdown in December. Cinco de Mayo, I think it was September, December. Maybe that's gonna happen. I don't know. But that's Caleb Plant take right on Canelo Alvarez. So let's get into what we came here to talk about. Is Canelo Alvarez the greatest super middleweight of all time, man? Yeah, you know what I mean? You've got some good fighters, so we're gonna talk about it and match him up against some of the greats. You know what I'm saying? So we get some things talking and get some conversation going over Canelo Alvarez. His stakes in the super middleweight division and some great legendary fighters that we knew from all times, So they got their list. I got my own list personally. So, these are sports writers' list, and I got my own list as well. So let me find. I'm trying to find the page, cap the page off where we start and where they start. Okay, like some of the greatest super middleweight bouts of all time. Some really good fights in there. I'm surprised. Anyway, there's that one. Let me put this over here. Okay, yeah, cool. All right, we start here. All right, let me just share the screen and get this popping. What you saying, Jed? What's Jed saying? Hopefully boxing get back in UK. Yeah, hopefully, Jed. Yeah, I like Canelo versus Plant fight. Yeah, I think it will be a good fight. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, it should be. I can't put Canelo up there in 168 greats just yet. Hey, listen, you might as well go there, man. I'm looking forward to your list. Yeah. All right, I'm looking forward to. I'm gonna do the sports writers list that they kind of have, and then I'm gonna do my own list, or which I think and the notable names and stuff like that don't really get hit. So let me find. All right, let me get it done. Share the screen. Share the screen. EJ. There you go. All right, we in. Cool, we in. All right, I can zoom in as well. Zoom in some more. Yeah. All right. First thing coming at number 10 is the super middleweight champion, Sven Ottke, otherwise known as the Phantom. He's undefeated, actually, yeah. Fought out in Germany with 34 wins, no losses, with 6 KOs. That's crazy. That's crazy. With all the, that many fights and just only 6 knockouts, that's like Paulie Malignaggi. I think Paulie Malignaggi's got a higher percentage of knockouts than my man. He won the IBF champion. He was the IBF champion from 1998 to 2004, and the WBA super champion, WBA champion. Oh, he was both in the WBA and IBF champion from 2003 to 2004. Only hold it 1 year. I think them times that you only needed to get the WBC. See, he could have been undisputed, but he didn't do it. He could have been the first one. The WBO, but no one really counted at that time. The WBO belt was there, but it wasn't counted. If there was any ever fighter of best record, well, listen, let me tell you about Sven Ottke if you don't know already. He had 21 title defenses, and you know he beat some good names. Charles Brewer, who else he beat over there? He beat loads of good names who was there at the time. The Charles Brewer win, that's when he won his title. Defended it 21 times, the title defenses. But you know the thing is, some of his titles, Robin Reed was the one that scarred me up. When I was watching Robert, if you haven't seen it, check Robert Reed, yeah? Some robberies, man. Ah, man, I'm telling you, man. Look at the people, what they say again? On the right ended more robberies than Dick Turpin. And Dick Turpin, the highwayman. Exactly. Some of the robberies were bad, man. The Robin Reed one was the worst. The referee was just telling Robin Reed basically not to hit him. Germany was corrupt them times. The UK is it's not as bad as Germany in that regard, but UK is getting to the point on the scorecards where it's bad as Germany. Germany was bad. They was just robbing people out there blindly. There's nothing anyone could do. Just robbing people. You actually get a knockout, and even then you'd probably get a draw if it got to the scorecards. It was bad. So Sven Ottke comes in that thing, but he is regarded as in the top 10. I talked to him when he came over, Vladimir Klitschko and Anthony Joshua, and he was in a lobby and no one recognized him. I recognized him. Oh shit, this is the Phantom. Because how come you're not in the Hall of Fame? He said, nah, I didn't get the fights. Because I said to him, the fight that everyone wanted to see is versus Joe Calzaghe. For whatever reason, that felt for Joe Calzaghe weren't going. Well, he did actually fought in Germany, but you know the Sven Ottke fight never happened, and consequently, no one kind of remembers Sven Ottke. But in super middleweight history, he's one of the best, even though he did get dodgy decisions and done the best he can. How would he fare against Canelo? Well, I'll tell you what, yeah. If the fight was in Germany, Canelo would be lucky if he gets a win over there. If the fight's in America, anywhere in America, I don't know if Sven Otke's going to get away with either. But I think Canelo Alvarez would do pretty handily against Sven Ottke. I think he generates enough power. Boxing ability, Sven Otke's pretty devious. He's pretty good. He's pretty solid super middleweight. But I think Canelo could probably beat him. I don't think he'll stop Pinocchio. He's pretty durable, but you know, I think it would be a good fight. I think Sven Ottke and Canelo Alvarez would be a good battle. I think he could beat him. These are the greatest super middleweights in the top 10. So I think Canelo could beat him. I think Canelo could beat him on points. I don't think he'll stop him. He's quite durable as Ottke. And like you said, he's undefeated. He never lost to anyone. So I'd have Canelo beating him. Let's move up to the next guy. Now, this guy here, Cho Pao Park, yeah. This is earlier on. The super middleweight wasn't even around that long, but basically he was the IBF champion from 1984 to 1987, the OBA from 1987 to 98. So, was there 3 belts? I think there was still 3 belts, maybe 3, yeah, because there's maybe there's 2 belts. I'm not too sure. I don't really know too much about this guy here, but he's regarded as one of the top guys. I couldn't really say how Canelo would fare against him. His record, 46 wins, 5 losses, one draw with 39 KOs. So I don't really know too much about him. And what's the biggest name on his resume? I don't know. So he's in the list though, they've regarded him. But like I said, these are the sports writers. So I'll pass on this one. But we do know this guy, right? Chris Eubank Sr., the WBO champion, hold it from 91 to 95. This is super middleweight. Yeah, super middleweight. Yeah, 91. Yeah, because he won. He dropped it. I think Watson. I think it was someone vacated the belt. It was a vacant belt, and he fought Watson for it, and that's where he's ran. But he had a draw with Nigel Benn at the super middleweight division, and also the Michael Watson fight, and then eventually lost it to Steve Collins. Canelo Alvarez versus Eubank would be a strange one. It'd be a strange one. It'd be a strange affair. Eubank coming in with 45 wins, 5 losses. 2 of them losses come to Carl Thomas at cruiserweight, where he shouldn't have ever been. Eubank, to be fair, got 2 draws and 23 KOs. At middleweight, he could bang. Super middleweight is okay. He had okay power, but you got the Watson thing. What happened to him? It wasn't the same fighter. But let's talk about before the Watson. He was a quite ruthless boxer, and he played a lot of mind games, similar to what Billy Joe Saunders would do. But Eubank wouldn't quit. As we know, he wouldn't quit. Even if it had eye damage against Carl Thompson, he never quit. He wouldn't give up. He'd be in the fight. And Canelo would be in a fight. Trust me, brother. Canelo would be in a fight. Eubank is actually quite durable. And you know what? If Canelo Alvarez was to fight Eubank, I won't be surprised if Eubank tucked him in. Eubank give him a good old give beating. I think it would be a good inside pocket fight. A great fight for the fans. And in my hey, listen, in my case, you know, whoever could win on the day, that's what we'd go with. Eubank Senior. Whoever could win on the day, that's the way I see that one. You know, I don't really see like one really overwhelming each other. So Canelo still, and this is at number 8. Canelo on the sports writers list. Canelo could fit right into the list against Eubank. I think that Eubank Senior. I think it'd be a good fight. I don't think no one could tell me that Canelo would get blown out by Eubank. You know what I mean? I don't think so. Anyway, moving on. Nigel Benn, the Dark Destroyer. The Dark Destroyer. I need to share. I didn't even share this around actually. 1 minute, guys. Let me just share this video around. Hope you guys enjoying. This should be good though. Canelo versus the super middleweights. Is Canelo the super greatest middleweight champion of all time? Would he beat the greats? We're talking about it now. Let me see. Canelo Alvarez. Welcome to the EJ Boxing Live Show. If you just joined us, let me see what's going on here. Yeah, oh boy. Yeah, there you go. I see you. I see you. There you go. Share this. Need to share this around to my peoples. Yeah, just bear with me, people. I need to share my videos around because you know some people they ain't getting it. We need to know that I'm live. That's why I call myself EJ Boxer Live, man. I'll put that there. I'll be back in a second. Just bear with me. There you go. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's that done. And 1 minute. This Nigel Benn one's gonna be good, man. Canelo boy versus Nigel Benn. Woo! What a great fight that would be, eh? Canelo Saul Alvarez. Was it Saul Canelo Alvarez? That's how they say his name, innit? Good conversations. All right, that is it. We are ready. I am back. So, like I said to you, welcome to the EJ Boxing Live Show. Is Canelo Alvarez the greatest super middleweight champion of all time? So, on the sports writers list, they have Nigel Benn. The Dark Destroyer. Record, 42 wins, five losses. Who's these 5 losses? He lost to Sugar Mamba Linga, 1. Eubank, 2. Michael Watson, 3. Who's the other 2? Steve Collins. Oh yeah, back to back. There you go. The draw with Eubank and 35 KOs. Nigel Benn he was a WBC champion from 92 to 96. It's good. The WBC belt was the best in the business. Now, who did he win the belt off? I believe he won the vacant belt. Or it was the vacant belt at the time. No, he won the vacant belt off a guy in Italy. I remember. And then he fought Eubank, and it was a draw, but actually people thought he won the fight. But the most notable fight that we remember Nigel Benn was the one with Gerald McClellan. That was the fight, man. That was the fight. Boy, Nigel had to dig in deep that day, man. He nearly got snapped out. And obviously Gerald McClellan is in a bad state. Obviously, you know, I can't remember who he is, but that was one of the most violent fights you've ever seen. In fact, the most violent fight in British history on soil. It was absolutely violent. America versus the UK. And Gerald McClellan was violent, right? You know, he was the real deal, man. He was the real. Nigel had to be about it. Now, let's talk about it now. All right, why I'm here, by the way. All right, first off, now let's go with Nigel Benn because I mentioned Nigel Benn. Nigel Benn versus Saul Canelo Alvarez. I tell you what, yeah. And you know, this might be a bit controversial. I think Canelo could probably beat Ben, you know. I think Canelo could probably beat Ben. Like, but you know what? Ben can land though, you know. If Ben can land some of his shots, I think Canelo will be in trouble. But at the same time, if Canelo can land on Ben, I think Ben would be in a whole pain game. You know what I mean? It'd be in a pain game. But Ben would go through it. You know, like Eubank, Ben would go through it, you know, it would be go through it. But I think there could be a knockout. If Canelo makes one mistake, he's gonna find himself on the floor. And I know Canelo's never been decked or anything like that, but I don't think Nigel Benn can generate some power. At super middleweight, his power was still decent. It was still decent enough. Still decent enough, and it was concussed. And he moved his head when he's fighting Gerald McClellan. He moved his head, but it's a back on the forwards, you know. But actually, Nigel Benn wouldn't quit. And even if he got knocked down, he'd get back up and he'd even get even stronger, like the Incredible Hulk. Canelo Alvarez would be in a fight for his life. And, you know, one of these guys will seriously be in pain after this fight. I don't think their careers will be the same again. So, like I said, with the Eubank fight, whichever way you want it, I think Ben could lose his Canelo Alvarez. And I think the other way around, I think Ben could knock out Canelo Alvarez. I think Canelo could knock out Ben and Ben could knock out him. I couldn't see this going to the scorecards, man. I can't see it going to scorecards. I couldn't see it going to scorecards one way or the other. Nope, no way. I couldn't. So that's the way I see that fight going. All right. Now, Gerald McClellan is on my list. Yeah. This is Gerald McClellan versus Canelo Alvarez. I tell you right now, hands down, I think Canelo Alvarez ain't beating Gerald McClellan. No, I don't think he'd beat him. I don't think he beats him. I don't see how he gets close to Gerald McClellan. His boxing IQ is very good. The only thing with Jeremy, if he stands to fight with Canelo, he might be in a bit of trouble. But I don't think he's going to be in trouble with what Ben put him through. You know what I mean? I don't think that's happening. He was a strong, healthy, bad American super middleweight, and I think Canelo was not beating. I don't see him the style, the way Gerald could box, yeah, because you know Nigel drawed him into a war. You know what I mean? If he goes in there against Canelo with discipline fight, Gerald McClellan beats Canelo Alvarez. I'm just saying that right now. It's the style. It's the style. You know what I mean? It's the style. And you know, I could see him just boxing and moving around and stuff like that. You know, jabbing him up and down, straight rights coming down the pipe. Canelo will be in trouble, man. Canelo will be in trouble. He would. So I'm just saying it right now. That's the first guy on the list that I feel like Canelo couldn't beat, and that's Gerald McClellan. So he's on my list, even though he moved up. He only had one fight at super middleweight. That was with Nigel Benn, but I don't think he beats him. That's just my opinion. All right, moving up. So that's them two. Michael, second to none. From America, 58 wins, 4 losses, 38 KOs. Nah, Canelo. But you know what? James Toney done him. The Southpaw, like Lara. Nah. Like Trout. Nah. He's better than, and in fact, he hits harder than them. Nah. Canelo's not beating him, bruv. I don't care. He's not beating Michael Nunn. He's not beating Michael Nunn. He's not beating Michael Nunn. So, nah. I can't see it, man. I can't see it. But at the same time, you know, Canelo could hit him and that. But Michael Nunn, that left, he give Canelo problems all night. And he's a classy, wicked slickster boxer. Like this, he's just as good as Mayweather. It's really. So, you know, in my opinion, you know, I don't see Canelo beating him. I don't see it, man. I'll go in the chat after, and you know, you guys might tell me something different, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. You know what I mean? I don't see it. I don't see him beating him. So, you know, that's Michael Nunn. So Canelo's, you know, he's finding a bit of sticky waters there against Gerald McClellan and Michael Nunn. Who's this guy? Oh, Frankie Liles. Frankie Liles on the beef fighter. Oh yeah, he beat Michael Nunn. His thingy. He beat Michael Nunn. Actually, let me change the screen actually, because I need to change the screen. Okay, 1 second. Let me change the screen because thingy's not there no more, is he? We've done that Caleb plan. There you go. This. Did that screen or this actually do this screen? That screen's probably better. There you go. That's the screen. I'll put the screen. My man Ned, my man Jed is commenting down this thing. Jed, don't worry. You keep commenting, Jed, and I'll read it out after. Just keep commenting, my man. All right. There you go. Actually, what did I do that on the screen for? My bad. I need to keep because take that back off. My bad, because I'm still sharing the screen, aren't I? There we go. It's better like that. Yeah, I guess I'll just leave it like that. Leave it like that and just keep rolling. That's so cool. All right, let's go back in. All right. So yeah, Frankie Liles, he beat Nigel. He beat Nigel Nunn. That's why he's ranked above him. He took the belt, the WBA belt of Michael Nunn. You know, won on points decision. That's the only biggest win he's got there. He fought at a high weight later, but his record 32 wins, 3 losses, 19 KOs. I haven't seen too much about him. Like the Parks, I haven't too, so I can't really count on him. So I'll skip past him, but he beat Michael Nunn, but I can't really say how he'd verse against Canelo Alvarez. You know what I'm saying? This is a good one. This is a good one. This is a good one, isn't it? Carl Froch, bruv. Now listen to this. This is very important, right? A bit of trivia. Carl Froch could have been the undisputed champion. He actually could have been the undisputed champion. As you can see down here, right? He was the first man he had the WBC belt, the IBF belt, and the WBA belt. You know what I'm saying? He had them, and he could have fought Saki Obiko for the WBC belt. He wouldn't have held all the belts at the same time, but he would have been a holder of all the belts. If you know what I mean, right? You know what I mean? He would have been a holder, and he won the WBC belt. I think it was him and Pascal. That was in I think it was in Sheffield or it was in England somewhere. That was a wicked fight. That was a wicked fight, bro. And then he later went to America, fought Jermaine Taylor, and then he got into the Super 6 tournament. He lost the WBC belt to what's that guy's name again? Mikkel Kessler. Yeah, he lost the belt to him. I didn't think he lost that fight, actually. I actually thought he won the fight, but he was in Germany and he lost the belt. Later on he had the rematch and beat Kessler. That was a good fight. Then he won the IBF title. He won the IBF title in the thing. I can't remember who he fought in the IBF. He won the IBF title. I can't remember who won that, but no. This is what happened. Yeah. That's what happened. He lost the WBC belt, and then he got it back. I can't remember who got it back from. But anyway, he had a good fight with Andre Ward and stuff like that. Some good fights, Arthur Abrahams and them guys there. Glenn Johnson. Some good fights in the tournament. But the IBF belt, when he beat, what's his name again? The guy, Lucien Butte. Jeez. Yo, bruv. Give Butte a beating, bruv. He gave Butte a beating. Who was regarded as like the best, but he didn't want to enter the tournament. For whatever reason, he didn't want to enter the tournament. And he gave Lucien Butte a smacking. That was a good fight. Carl Froch is a bad man. In fact, in terms of like one of my favorite guys from the UK, if you want to sit down and watch it to entertaining fight, Carl Froch is your man. He's your man. He went on and had a good fight. Him and George Groves, they had some backwards and forward fights. But that's not I remember if I like him on the world team when he was banging. George Groves fight, was George Groves was a good fighter, but Carl Froch was something special. And he wanted to fight Joe Calzaghe. That fight never happened. And he might have been looked differently if that fight would have happened. It would have been a good fight between Carl. Carl was calling him out. Joe didn't want the fight. And, Carl was a man's man. He was about it. It was about it. If you talk smoke, Carl was your man's. He was there. So let's talk about him versus Canelo Alvarez. Listen. Listen, bro. Hey, listen. It might be a Lucien Butte, It might actually be a Lucien Butte situation that Carl Froch, or George, he might cobra him like he did to George Groves in the second fight. Hey, listen, it's the fight where Canelo Alvarez, if he could adopt the kind of similar plan as George Groves, movement and slipping, he could have effect on Carl Froch. But if Carl Froch just totally the work behind his jab and doesn't engage and didn't get emotionally involved, I think it's a shutout. I think he wins on points. I think Carl Froch wins that fight. I think Canelo could win rounds. I think he could be very close on the scorecards. I don't, you know what I mean? It could be very close on the scorecards. Canelo shows respect. I'm sure Carl will show his respect in that. But I think, I think Carl could probably win on points in this one. You know what I mean? So Canelo's losing. As he's going up to the top end of the list, I think he's losing. So I got Froch beating Canelo Alvarez. What do you guys think? Maybe I'm wrong or right, whatever, how you see it. Truth Express, what's going on, man? What's going on, Truth Express? Nice to have you in the chat. We're going over the super middleweight champions. Canelo the greatest super middleweight of all time, and I'm going for a list of the sports writers list. I got my own list, so I'm going through their list. I think Froch beats Canelo Alvarez. That's the way I see that one. You know what I mean? That's the way I see it. What's my name again? Tango fam. What's up, Tango fam? What's going on, bro? Canelo is definitely a great. Well, he's got some work to do, but he's definitely up there, and there's some good lists. All right, so I got Froch winning that fight. This is a good one. All righty, Roy Jones Jr., obviously American, fought at the super middleweight champion limit. He's still active, actually. 65 wins, 9 losses, 47 KOs. He actually ain't got no draws, It's just straight knockouts or no draws. Either wins on points or he KOs his opponent or he gets knocked out. That's simple as that. But still, look, 65, bruv, that's a lot, If you put 65 with the losses, so take all the losses and put them in the wins. The man's had near like 70, nearly 80 fights, bro. That's a lot. That's a lot of fights, man. That's a lot of fights. And, he won his super middleweight championship against James Toney. James Toney at the time looked like he was struggling at the weight. And, Roy Jones went on to do great things. I mean, he won the middleweight title, super middleweight, but he didn't stay there long. But stylistically, Roy Jones against Canelo Alvarez, it don't look good, bro. It just don't look good. Am I biased? Tell me, am I biased? It just don't look good. I just don't see it. It's not a good look. It's not a good look for Canelo. That's the guy that, bruh, is speed. If Mayweather wasn't, he's moving up and the pace was pretty slow. You know what I mean? It was pretty, Mayweather was, good defense. But, bruh, Roy Jones, with them long arms, he's got exceptional long arms with the hand speed. Them times there with the hit, Canelo, I don't think Canelo's touching him. I'll be honest with you, because I said Michael Nunn without boxing, but I think he'd have some success in Michael Nunn. And you know what I mean? And even with Gerald McClellan, I think he might land a bit. But bruh, with Roy Jones, I think it's just out of sight. That guy, super middleweight, I think Canelo just gets outpointed easily. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see it. Roy Jones peppers him all night. Pepper. All night, Canelo's hitting ghosts, bruv. And you know what? He could probably stop him. I'll be honest, probably the first one, like, I think he could probably be stopped here, man. You know what I mean? I just don't see it. Roy Jones, the IBF champion from 94 to 96. And, Canelo, maybe I'm biased, but I don't think Canelo's going nowhere with Roy Jones, bro. I don't think he's going nowhere with him, but, we have to see. You guys can have your input. I'll read out your comments later after. Joe Smokey Calzaghe. You know what I mean? Everyone know about Joe Calzaghe. He won the WBO belt for Chris Eubank. 20 defenses of that belt, isn't it? Was it 20 defenses? I think it's 20 defenses of that belt, WBO belt, against bloody hell, mate. Some opponents, that boy, Actually, you know what? He beat Left Foot Lacey. That was a good one. Charles Brewer, that was a very good one. He beat Byron Russell, another good American. These are the Americans. Omar Shaker. So yeah, he beat some good Americans. He got the IBF belt. I think he beat Michael Kessler. Yeah, Carl was the man. He had a WBO. The only belt he didn't get, as you can see here, he didn't get the WBC. He did get a WBC belt. He got a WBO, IBF. He did get a WBC and WBA. So so Joe Calzaghe actually had every single belt, but he never had it like undisputedly. Jeez. All right, he never had them all at the same time. So he's actually the first guy to have every belt. Froch could have did that as well, by the way. All right, so let's talk about the matchup between Joe Calzaghe, the Welshman. Joe Calzaghe's record from the UK. I want to go to the UK. Let's still quick. He's from Wales, really. You know what I mean? The Southpaw. 46 wins, no losses with 32 KOs. Joe Calzaghe versus Canelo Alvarez. Listen, I love Joe, bro. He's been he's been decked, you know. But Joe's got hand speed, you know. He's got very good hand speed and he's very gutty. And even if he got knocked down, he'd get up. I think Canelo would be in a hard fight, bro. He's a southpaw again. He's another busy southpaw. You know what I mean? He's a busy, fast southpaw with fast hands, bouncing on his feet. Fit. Joe's fit. You know, he's a fit man. You know, he always comes, brings that smoke. It's a great fight. Great matchup, bro. But I think it's all about what Joe's on. You know, if Joe gets too busy and thinks he can roll up, he could get caught. Because Canelo moves. It's got slippery. He can catch you. And he might catch him with the uppercut, the same one he caught Billy Joe Saunders one. You know what I mean? But I think even if Joe had one eye, Joe would continue. So I could see him getting hit with the same orbital bone that Billy Joe Saunders got hit with. Canelo could land him, but I don't think Canelo's outpointing thingy. But you know, the scorecards will be busy, man. You know what I mean? I could see it going a draw because I see, you know, bloody. If it's the thing is, depending on where the fight's in. If the fight's in the UK, Joe Calzaghe's winning. If it's in America, you know, Canelo's winning the fight, bro. If it's close, Canelo's gonna win the fight. So it's just gonna be one. I don't see Joe Calzaghe knocking out Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez could hurt Joe Calzaghe, but I don't see him knocking him out. A very, very good fight, a very entertaining fight for the fans, and you know, it could go either way depending on what country the fight is in. So, you know, Canelo stands in good stead against Joe Calzaghe. What do you guys think? Yeah, me, I'm being biased or whatever. What's my man saying? Just Joe was definitely a great, but there's a question mark here about yeah, exactly. He's chin and he said he don't want to fly to America. Like he said he was scared of planes. Yeah, he don't want needles and he's scared of planes. But the moment he got enough money, he jumped on the plane and went over there and fought Roy Jones and Bernard Hopkins when, you know, at a fast age when he knew they was old. So he didn't fight them in their prime. So that's the question. But he definitely got knocked down a lot. He got knocked down a lot, bro. You know what I mean? So Canelo could pepper him still, but depending where the fight is. So let's move on. Who they got? The sports writers of America or whoever did this article. Andre SOG Ward. Andre SOG Ward from America, 30 wins, 31 wins, no losses with 15 KOs. Not necessarily a big puncher. And in activity, you know what I mean? WBA super champion, WBC champion, you know, when he beat Michael Kessler. Hold the WBA belt from 2009, 2015. WBC belt. And then I think he got the IBF, but yeah, he done all right, man. He done all right, but the wins in the Super 6, I think the win over Carl Froch is the one, though, isn't it? Beat Carl Froch, and apparently he didn't even have his full strength. He only had one arm. I think he's injured. He was injured in one arm. You know what I mean? He done wrong. He gave Carl a good clapping. They actually didn't score close on the scorecard. I don't know why. To me, it was easy win for him. A very easy win for him. You know, and you know, he wanted the Calzaghe fight. Calzaghe didn't want to fight him as well. The Chad, you know, he beat Carl Froch, man, and Carl Froch has got all them bodies. That just says it right there. You know, Joe Calzaghe, he beat Chad Dawson, but that's at higher weights. But at super middleweight, the Miguel Kessler win was good. That was a very solid win. I like that one. The Miguel Kessler win, that was a good, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, the Carl Froch win, you got to give it to him, man. You got to give it to him. Now he's Andre Ward's a bad man, but you know, him versus thing. I'm gonna be honest, man. They've got him number one. I don't know if Andre Ward number one. I think Canelo could beat Andre Ward. You know, I'll tell you why. Yeah, because Andre Ward is as strong as he is, as powerful as he's not that hard because he's right there in front of you. You know what I mean? He's right there for Canelo to hit, and if he's right there for Canelo to hit, Canelo can bang some shots in, you know what I'm saying? He's not moving around. He's right there. Maybe Canelo could get bullied, you know? Maybe Andre was too strong for him. He's naturally strong at the weight. Andre Ward is putting hands on him, sending, you know what I'm saying? But maybe Andre Ward is too big and strong for him at the weight. I don't know, but Canelo's grown himself into it. Canelo's shown he can power, he can move, and I think it's a very tricky fight. Very tricky fight. I wouldn't be surprised if Andre Ward lost on this fight. I don't see no stoppage. I won't be surprised if he lost on points, man. Andre Ward. I won't be surprised, man. I'm just be honest with you, man. I know Andre Ward, they've got him as the best thing, but Canelo's deep, Canelo could roll with this man, he could roll. Don't tell me Canelo can't go with Andre Ward. He could. This Canelo could go with Andre Ward. He hasn't fought the names up there yet, but I think, I think he could mix it with Andre Ward and look pretty decent in it, depending. There'll be rounds going backwards and forwards. Like I said, depending on what style you like in that fight, because Andre Ward, he's got this kind of spoiler style, like inside and stuff like that. Canelo can hit and move and slip. Very interesting fight. I think it's a fight for the connoisseurs, not really the fight that everyone's looking for, but just because they're both been in boxing. But I think Canelo could hold his own with Andre Ward, man. So Andre Ward is the best. They've got him the best, and I got Canelo right up there, bro. I got Canelo right up there, mixing with him. You know what I mean? It's just the styles, isn't it? Andre is flat-footed, he's right in front of you. And that's what Canelo needs. That's what he needs to be successful. So I think Andre Ward could win. Could he knock out Canelo? I don't think so. With 15 KOs, I don't think so. Canelo knock out Andre Ward? I know you see Andre Ward really hurt at super middleweight. Froch never hurt him because Andre's pretty slippery as well. So it'll go points. And you could call it how you want. Andre Ward on points. Canelo, it would be a shock win though. It'd be an upset win. But I think Canelo could hold his own with him. So this Canelo fits well good in the pantheon of the super middleweight champions. So that's one list. Let's see the last list of the thing. Let's see a last list. They got Sven Ottke, Froch. We covered that. Mikel Kessler. That's a good fight, Actually a good fight. Mikel Kessler versus Canelo Alvarez. Let me just zoom this in. Can I zoom it in? Yeah, I can zoom it in. 50. There you go. I'll zoom it in. There you go. All right. Let's see this next one. Mikel Kessler versus Canelo Alvarez. Kessler's is a strong, brutal come forward fighter. You know what I mean? He's a strong, brutal come forward fighter, a bruiser. I think Canelo will be too slick for him, man. That's the way I see it. I think Canelo's just too slick for him. You know what I mean? B Marsh, what's going on, B Marsh? What's going on? A long time, B Marsh. I think Canelo will be too. This is the greatest. Is Canelo the greatest super middleweight champion of all time? So I got the list that the sports writers say is on their list. I think Canelo too slick for Mikel Kessler. I think he would outpoint Kessler on points. I think he would. I think Kessler's too upright, European style. And I think he do well with him. I think Canelo beats him. So I was trying to see how Canelo does with the top 10. Nigel Benn, we've already covered the Nigel Benn fight. It's the one whoever lands, and it'll be exciting. I can't see the fight going the distance at super middleweight. Nigel could knock out Canelo, and Canelo could probably knock out Nigel Benn. But Nigel will be off the floor. Like if Nigel's not sleeping off the floor, Nigel's coming off even stronger. You know what I mean? And Nigel's he ain't playing around. So I already covered that fight already. I'll cover the Eubank fight at number 6. Steve Collins. That's a good fight, isn't it? Canelo Alvarez versus Steve Collins, man. Yeah, I like that fight there. I like that fight. I like that backwards and forwards. Actually, Collins is another tough, rugged guy. You know what I mean? He'll be there for Canelo. He's just enough rugged, tough, in your face guy. You know what I mean? Can Canelo beat him? Yeah, he could beat him. Can Steve Collins beat him? Because Steve Collins is a pressure fighter, you know what I mean? So it suits Canelo. Canelo's good with that, how he did with Golovkin and them guys there. He's cool with that. You just slip, move his head, and touch him up and that. I don't think he stops Collins. I think he go points. I think Canelo would win and beat and outpoint Steve Collins. I like Steve Collins though, he's a tough, rugged guy, but he's too predictable, man. You know what he's coming with, you know what I'm saying? And I think Canelo's too cute especially this Canelo, too cute, super middleweight to deal with Steve Collins, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think Canelo would outpoint Steve Collins, but definitely a great fight, backwards and forwards. We covered the James Toney fight, we covered the Joe Calzaghe and Andre Ward. Who they got number 1? Oh, they got Roy Jones. We covered the Roy Jones one. All right, so that's really the list they've got. I'm gonna put my list and the list I got. We got a heap of comments in that. Don't worry, I'm gonna get to your comments because you guys in it. I appreciate you guys. Just keep your comments coming. I'll cover them as best I can. You know what I'm saying? Canelo can mix with these guys. The thing is, the fact of the matter is, yeah, Canelo can mix with these guys in, man. He wouldn't be out, you know, out of place against these guys here, you know. He wouldn't be, you know what I'm saying? And I just played the Caleb Plant interview. I played the Caleb Plant interview just a bit earlier on. If you ain't heard it, Canelo, he's on it. Caleb Plant. Actually, let me play some more. Actually, I could play some more Caleb Plant interview. So if you ain't heard it, this is Caleb Plant talking earlier on one of the podcasters. Here you go. This is like yesterday, actually.
You're scared of anyone or anything. I don't think anything's too big for you here. But the one thing I want to ask you about, obviously, Canelo Alvarez has a big advantage when it comes to experience, right? That's just numbers. Like I think you've had what, about 20 pro fights? He's at almost 60. How do you think you overcome that?
Yeah, you know, I know he has a lot more experience than me. A lot of those fights, though, were low-level fights, you know, and those were you know, at the time where I was on Team USA having international duels at the Olympic Training Center. You know, I went to London in 2012 as an Olympic alternate, and you know, got to train with a lot of top-level guys and spar with some top-level guys. So, you know, just because it's not on my pro record doesn't mean that, you know, I don't have a lot of experience. I've been, you know, I'm a Golden Glove national champion. I've been fighting at a high level for a really long time. And but as far as, you know, in the latter part of his career, fighting some of these bigger names, he does have more experience than me. But at the same time, experience can be overrated. And not to compare these two fighters because I'm not trying to, but Jose Eubank had a lot more experience than me as well. And, you know, me coming off a year layoff off a broke hand and going in and do what I did, you know, I feel like, you know, I've hardly lost any rounds in my entire career. So it's hard to gauge, you know, for the rest of you guys, it's hard for y'all to gauge exactly where I'm at and exactly what I'm capable of. And anytime it's been, you know, time for me to step up to the plate for a big moment, I've always stepped up and I've always done well. And I've always been victorious. So, you know, the lights, the cameras, the crowd, people booing me, that's not something that's going to rattle me or, you know, get me out of my comfort zone. That's what I like. And that's when I fight best.
Yeah, exactly. Because you were an underdog against Jose Eubank and you won going away. You dropped him, you hurt him, showed your power off. Now in these last few fights, you've been a big favorite. And early odds, Canelo Alvarez opened up as minus 600, you plus 400. Do you prefer being the underdog or the favorite?
I like the underdog role. You know, I feel like I've been in that position my whole life. And people counting me out, telling me what I can and can't be, you know, what I can and can't accomplish. And, you know, it's just a role that fits me well. And it's something that keeps me motivated and hungry and working hard. And I feel like that's a big reason I got that chip on my shoulder. And I've been able to stay as focused and dedicated as long as I have, you know, because people are always saying what I can and can't do. And, you know, they haven't been right yet. So why would I believe them now? After everything I've accomplished in life, after everything I've conquered and walked out the other side of with my head held high, you know, once you do that so many times, you develop a self-belief that can't be shook. And they've been wrong all these other times. So why would I start to believe them now?
Yeah, when you see those odds, do you think that's fair or do you see it as disrespect?
Those are just numbers to me. That's it. You know, it's not. That's all it is. It's just numbers.
You know, I know you talk a lot about self-belief and you've gone through a lot of adversity in your life. You've been open about it. I think it's really brave of you. How important do you believe self-belief is when it comes to a big challenge like this?
I think just to go out and be successful in life, period. You know, it takes that. And nowadays it's almost shunned upon to have self-belief. And a lot of times people misconstrue self-belief with being cocky or being arrogant. But if you don't believe in yourself, who is? You know, if I don't believe in myself, who else is going to believe in myself? If I walk around like I don't believe in myself, why would anybody else back me? Why would anybody else be a fan of me? So, you know, I think that's important to go out and accomplish, you know, anything in life, much less, you know, a big moment like this. I encourage everybody to have that level of self-belief. And, you know, it's good. You want to be humble and you want to be, you know, what they say, speak lightly and carry a big stick. So, you know, I encourage everybody to have that self-belief. Otherwise, nobody else is going to believe in you either.
Yeah, you mentioned before that, obviously, you don't think Canelo's unbeatable, and that's fair. You say you think he's 1-3 in some of those fights. But in my opinion, he is an all-time great. He's obviously a first ballot Hall of Famer. When you watch Canelo Alvarez and you think of him, what do you say?
I mean, yeah, he's a great fighter, and he's accomplished a lot of big things. And, you know, he's got a lot of good attributes about it. But I feel like that I have a lot of attributes over him. And when we're able to get that fight signed and that bell rings, I feel like I can show y'all better than I can tell you. So.
Look, we see Canelo now packing out stadiums. That would be an amazing experience, I'm sure. Not that it's like obviously you would not be happy to be there, but to fight the number one fighter in the world in a packed stadium, I mean, this is what you've worked so hard for, I'm assuming.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like everybody who's ever, you know, laced up a pair of boxing gloves and been halfway serious about it, their dream is to win a world title. And if your goals are big enough, you know, it wasn't the goal to win a world title for me. It was just a goal. And I've always had my sights set really high. I feel like that's how I'm still able to stay so focused and dedicated, because I know what I really want out of boxing and what I really want to accomplish. And that's not just to win a world title and to defend it a couple of times, but it's to be an all-time great. It's to become undisputed and you know, cement a legacy that can't be erased. So, yeah, it's definitely what I'm looking for. And, you know, some of his fans will become some of my fans.
All right, so listen, I was gonna read out the comments, and then there's so many comments there, and it's like the bare comments, man. You know, to go through. I tell you what I'm gonna do. All right, I'm gonna drop the link, and I'm gonna drop a link, and you guys can jump in, and we could chop it up. And you know, some people, you see the thing about Canelo Alvarez, right? And you know the way he fights, and anyone can jump in as long as you come in respectfully. That's fine, right? Canelo Alvarez to me is doing something. He's reinvigorated the super division, you know, and we ain't even talk about David Benavidez yet, right? Because everyone's talking about David Benavidez. I was like, bruh, like David, bruh, if you behaved yourself and kept yourself awake, you could have had the mega fight with Canelo Alvarez, because you know Canelo was coming out the weight, and all he had to do is just stay on weight, and then he could have had that fight. But you know, I don't think David Benavidez is beating Canelo Alvarez. I know he's definitely he's young, he's hungry, and all that. But he ain't got the discipline, and you know Canelo will probably put a clause in and definitely against David Benavidez, because David Benavidez eats himself out of the weight class. You know what I'm saying? And I think you'd be surprised about the power, man. The man is packing TNT, bruv. Taking TNT in his hands, bruv. And you know when it's all said and done, I'm gonna have Canelo Alvarez as one of the greatest super middleweights of all time. Like I already read the list, man. He can mix it with a lot of the guys in the list, man. You know, the Nunns and the Roy Jones, they going, you know, the Joe Calzaghes, they're very good boxers. The Andre Ward, he could do all right with Andre Ward. You know what I mean? I don't think he does well with Gerald McClellan. Nigel Benn will be a toe-to-toe. Eubank's another tough guy, but you know he can mix it with that list, man. You can't tell me that Canelo Alvarez can't mix it with the top super middleweights of all time, because you know the division's only been around from the 90s, and they even mentioned Tommy Hearns yet. So there's the link. Yeah, if you feel froggy, jump in, and let's chop it up. Let's chop it up, man. Let's chop it up on the thing, man. Let's chop it up. Obviously, the people on Periscope can't jump in, but the people over on YouTube, you guys jump in if you want to jump in, and let's talk about it, man. Because it's gonna be a good old conversation between things. Because the way I look at this, Canelo couldn't, you know, it looks like he's gonna get all the belts. And I hear what Caleb Plant's saying, but bro, ain't no one. Caleb's a very boxer, you know. You can't win. At some point he gonna have to put Canelo on his back, bruv. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to listen, Caleb. You're gonna have to put Canelo on his back, bro. Just as simple as that. Like you can't win the fight by dancing, my friend. It's not gonna happen, bro. You're gonna engage, right? You're gonna have to blood him up, and then let people know you smashed him up, and then you know, then people are gonna say, yeah, if you can't do that, then it's gonna be a close fight, and if it goes to the cards, you ain't winning. You ain't winning. It could be a draw. Maybe you retain your belts, but you ain't gonna win the fight. So you know, at some point, a lot of pressure is gonna be on Caleb Plant to actually do stuff that he ain't done before. You know what I mean? Be willing to fight, and you know, Canelo gonna make the ring small. It won't matter. It won't matter. So listen, this is a fight. Billy Joe Saunders had to feel the heat, man. Even Billy Joe Saunders, who's a classic boxer, he went off his game plan. Look at the side. Look, you can see the side of his face here. Look around here. That's where the punch landed. I mean, that's his mouth, people. Look at the side here. They said this is where the bone fragments in. The whole of that side of his face is swollen up, man. You can see one side of his face is actually it looks like it's swollen, man. You know what I mean? It's like the man lift up his the bones underneath his skin. There's a link in the chat. You guys feel froggy, you want to jump in, you know what I mean? Or should I just read out? People are usually busy. I think people usually busy around this time. There's some boxing. So I'll wait for a bit. My man there's because you look, I think he fits in with the list. You can't tell me he doesn't with the suit. He fits in with a lot of them guys there. Eubank, Ben, Collins. Canelo can go with them. Go with them. You know, most people thought Callum was too big and strong for him. He blew him out, man. Just blew him out. And then that wrong with Callum. That was Callum. He look at his arm. Callum, who beat George Groves. You know, how would George Groves fare against Canelo? All them guys there, because the thing is, he's not even that tall, you know. He's not even that tall, bro. But he's packing TNT. You know what I mean? He's packing some real respectful power in his hands there, boy. And he's gonna pull it on you and he's gonna let you know. So the super middleweight division is there to be great. And you know, in fact, like in Mexico has never had a super middleweight champion. In fact, they've never had a super middleweight champion. I think he's the first. He's actually doing history. He'll be the first undisputed middleweight champion. He'll be the first Mexican undisputed heavyweight champion if he beats when he beats Caleb Plant, because it looks like it's a foregone conclusion to everyone who think, because this I hear Caleb Plant's confidence, man. I really do, and I heard Billy's confidence, but I just don't see how he beats him, man. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna. That's like I said to you, you can't be running. And the thing is, you know, when Caleb Plant's throwing his punches, uppercuts, you know, when you're not landing, you have to get a bit closer, and that's all Canelo is. I think Canelo has just got as much as hand speed. I think he hits harder than Caleb Plant. You know, and you know, Caleb Plant, was he a southpaw? He's an orthodox that he's there to be hit, and he seemed like his body. Of recent fights, his body's breaking down. Canelo just getting naturally stronger. It's just getting started. In Texas, with them fans there, shit, it's gonna be my man. Express Truth. What's going on, bro?
Yes. Wow, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, man. Long time. How you been?
Yeah, man, everything's blessed, fam. I'm just in here listening to the stream, man. Because I never got to catch up with you about this Billy Joe Saunders thing. So
yeah. All right, talk about that. Then we could talk about the matchups.
I mean, come on, man. Canelo was always gonna beat Saunders, man. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Because Saunders is slick, you know, fam. But Canelo was always gonna crack him. And what I don't like is Sky push a narrative like they're saying, like, he was doing well until he got cracked with the uppercut. But who cracked his eye, fam? It was Canelo. You get what I mean? You never accidentally cracked your eye. Canelo, when you see Canelo training, you see my man practicing that punch time after time. Man's practicing the punch. He knows what he did. That's why after he licked him with the uppercut, he started like cheering the crowd on, and because he knew, stoppage was coming, fam. And Saunders knew if he went in the next round, it was going to be a horrible stoppage. It was going to be like show reel stuff. That's why Saunders quit, fam. That's why he quit. You get me? And the thing is, what I don't like is the boy quit, and the whole box, all these channels, man, were going in on the boy, say, yo, my man's a quitter, Saunders quits, and everyone's kind of backing my man, fam. Like, it bothers me a lot, because I'm not saying I'm the biggest the boy fan or nothing, but come on, man, let's call a spade a spade. Saunders quit, and the boy quit. But we can't start coming on these channels and only calling out the boy, but their man ain't calling out Saunders, even though Saunders quit. You see what I'm saying? So, and don't get me wrong, you know, I don't think I would probably carry on because I ain't going blind. You see what I'm saying? But just call a spade a spade. And what makes it worse is Saunders was on a rant saying how you need to get carried out the ring, and he's going in on the bar when the bar quit. When Brook quit, I know it's his boy, but they're always throwing little shade like, I wouldn't quit. But no one knows what they would do in that situation. You see what I mean? So, and if I was Eubank, I wouldn't even, outside of the money, I wouldn't even take that fight, fam. Trust me.
Well, against Billy?
Nah, Eubank against Canelo.
Oh, yeah. No, I think he has to. I think, you see, Eubank, he's another one, A lot of them, man, they're very confident. And, you know, end of the day, like, he's got that kind of stigma to that. he's his dad's son. He wants to get out of that himself. So I think, yeah, he should take that fight there. I think he feels until he gets lit up by Canelo, then he realize. But I don't mind that fight there. I think that's a good fight for him. For Canelo's gonna look at him because Eubank ain't done nothing really in his amateur or pro. What's his biggest weight? What weight name there?
The Gale.
Yeah, the girl, bro. Like, come on. His biggest win's the girl. He beat Eldridge. He beat him pretty good, actually. And, you know, the George Groves fight, he was in there. And Billy Joe, he was in there. But he just inexperienced. He start too late. So Canelo look at that and say, yeah, I'll take him and brack him up. You know, it's another guy I'll brack up. Because it seemed like Canelo's beating up the UK guys there. And let's go back to what you said. To what you said. Innit?
Yeah,
so,
man.
Daniel Dubois, do you know what he said? Yeah, the reason why he got so much heat is because, you know, the press conference, Joe Joyce's mum was antagonizing him at the press conference, right? Then he got the mic and said, look, because I'm gonna knock out your son so badly that you won't be able to see him. Now I don't know if he knew she was partially blind, but she's partially blind in her eyes. So, you know, when he said that, people took that statement as like, bread, she's blind, you know. But he didn't come back and say I apologize or anything. He just let that ride. So when he went out and that, people like, yeah, they rid him. That's why they rid him. Now Billy Joe, yeah, he come on that thing and he rid Joe Joyce because he's friends with he rid Daniel Dubois because he's friend with Joe Joyce because Joe Joyce is half traveler, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
So that's why he backed him and stuff like that. But see with Billy Joe, what makes it worse is the whole thing about the ring size, saying I want the ring bigger. And then he went to Canelo and said, "Yeah, you're juicy beef." And then one of the Mexican respected reporters, he said, "Your breath smells like shit in it."
No, I clocked it up. Listen, I'm a massive boxing fan, as you know.
Yeah,
I clocked how Billy Joe. First of all, I don't really rate Billy Joe as a person because when he fought my man, Willie Monroe, is that his name?
Yeah.
When he fought Willie Monroe, I never really respected how he made his son box Willie Monroe. You get me? I didn't really respect that. Like, I don't like how Billy Joe moves. I can't watch his interviews and that, but he's a great boxer. Now, what I'm saying is, I put it on my WhatsApp. I said, yo, the way how my man's prodding at Canelo, he's gonna make Canelo. Canelo's like a mellow man. Like we ain't seen this personality from him before. It's only when there's one YouTube channel that done like a behind the scenes thing on Canelo. My man's a cool brother. Now when you get him out his shell, fam, that ain't good. So the way how Billy Joe was, because I thought that them man were trying to pull out of the fight, to be honest. I thought they didn't want it because the ring size, it was a big problem. And plus Billy Joe's known for pulling out of fights, fam. You get me? It's like he's trying to protect that zero, but I just know that you weren't beating Canelo. Don't get it twisted, you know. I would have loved to see him do it, but you're not beating my man. My man's camp is so organized, fam. Like when you watch them, how they move and that, the Mexican youths, how they move as a team, and when it comes to sparring, and Billy Joe weren't beating him, fam. He wasn't beating him. You know what I mean? And Billy Joe's an inactive guy. He's a man that fights once a year, and he's fighting. Let's be real. Who is he? When he was saying, "Oh, you've never been in with no one like me," I'm like, who have you fought outside of Andy Lee? All right, Eubank. We rate Eubank because we live in the UK, but outside of the UK, man, don't rate Eubank, fam.
No.
So, who have you fought? Who's Billy Joe fought? You fought Andy Lee, and really, Andy Lee. Let's be real, decent fighter, but you know what I'm saying? He can be beat. So who have you fought? So I was looking, I'm saying, why are we giving him so much credit? Like, he's got no power. Canelo could literally, this ain't David Lemieux and them, man. These guys are not Canelo, fam.
Yeah.
He wasn't beating him, and then Canelo, I could see him lining him up. He tried to land it a few times, and when he cracked it, I said, yeah, the fight's over. once my man come up, I said, yeah, he ain't fighting on, because when people don't understand that if you feel that bone, when that goes, you know, fam, when that's what's holding your eye in place as well. So when that gets broken, it's crazy. Like, trust me.
But you see, the thing is, like, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't believe it's done. I've seen injuries in boxing and they've been worse than that. And man will say, yo, I'm still going on. You'd have to kill them and they'd have to stop. You know what I mean? I hear he acted in a way that he's never been hit before. But you see, the thing is, he's always been the A side in all the fights. He knew he was going to win because he's got Olympic. He's a former Olympian, You know, he didn't win no medal, but he was a young Olympian. And then something as well, notable thing, I don't think many people know this, right? He actually, his career winning Olympian when he was an amateur was at 154. So the reason why he couldn't make 160 and 168 where he ended up, because he ate himself out of the division. Andy Lee was another guy at 154, right? So when they moved up to middleweight, he went the same, and Billy was better than Andy Lee, and he looked really good against the Andy Lemieux, but he ate himself at the division. That was another thing as well. And another thing someone pointed up, is that the interview with about the quitting was with Mark Tibbs, and that videos. Do you know that all them videos have been taken down all over the internet?
Yo, EJ, let me tell you the facts. Yeah,
Go on.
You see, seconds out. I don't even want to really even call that man's name on your channel still.
Nah, you can rinse them. I don't rinse them.
So you see seconds out, you see IFL.
Yeah.
Like it's like when Brook quit and when Dubois quit, that man felt no way in posting people saying that they've quit. You get what I'm saying? Like they didn't feel no way in posting beer videos. Enough man were going in on Kell Brook, especially when he quit against Spence. Yeah. A lot of people were going in on Brook for that. Now what I'm saying is I just want to see the same energy now. A lot of these channels, like IFL now, obviously it's a big boy channel. I rate them, but the MTK fam said the bias. You get me? So even, I don't even want to come on here and beg.
Yeah, even
my man, fam. You know what, man? My man.
I told you about this, months ago as well. Go on.
Nah, you know what it is? I got nothing but love for my man. I think he's official brother. But when I seen that, I'm like, yo, how are you gonna like Dubois? Yes, he quit, but Dubois still tried to fight. And then he took the knee. Billy went to the corner and he was done. You get me? He only it was about. He only had that injury for about a minute.
My man went in on Dubois, He went in on Dubois,
Yeah, I clocked him. I clocked him going on Dubois, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
MTK must be paying these man some nice money, fam.
Yeah, there you go.
Trust me, I'm not on about not even just my man. I'm on about other guys.
Yeah,
like they must be paying them a lot of money because I'm like guys who have literally said other mans have quit have come out and said he didn't quit.
Yeah,
so I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And the thing is, Dubois, he's got a different level of I don't even know the right word to say, but Dubois kind of he's on a big man thing because if that was me, I'm coming out and I'm going in on Saunders.
Oh,
but I think,
he came out on a Bruno thing, Bridget. I didn't like it. He come out with these statements saying, "Oh, Billy, don't worry, you'll be all right." And I'm like, bruv, did you hear my man? My man threw you underneath the bus. But I think people like that what Daniel Dubois did because it come across classy. But he's like, "Oh, don't worry, Billy, you'll be all right. Your eye will heal up." And I was like, bruv, you sound like Frank Bruno, Bridget. Yeah, like, bro, how can you like, you don't have to say anything here. People already, putting twos together. He ready to throw you into the bus, but and you're not doing the same to him. But it's like, bruv, you can't. No, I don't make no sense you defending a man who said them sort of things towards you because he had no love for you. He's got love for Joe Joyce. He don't got none. They're actually in the same camp. Actually, both of them in the same camp.
Yeah, I know Mark Tibbs trains. He trains Dubois now, don't he?
But Mark Tibbs was disgusted, brethren. I ain't gonna lie, and they took all the videos down. That's the ones here, because Mark Tibbs, his face goes, "Oh, I was a bit disappointed. I actually thought, he'd give it a go, but he said that I was a bit too bad, and he said, he couldn't continue." Then you hear Ben Davis, come out and say, "Yo, he actually wanted to continue," and I said to him, "No," and he was shaking his head like, "No, don't stop the fight." And I'm like, where was this conversation going when I was in the corner? I never saw none of that, I never saw none of that conversation going on. So, what did you see?
They said it was Ben Davison, who must have said, "Yo, stop the fight."
Yeah,
but it wasn't that. I'll tell you the truth while it is here. Let me tell you the facts, bro. All what's happened there is that he felt that he knew what time it was because Canelo was ready to stick it on him. I remember the last time I seen Canelo go in like that was when he fought James Kirtland.
Yeah.
And he went in like he knew what was about to happen. So what I'm saying is Saunders went back to the corner and he knew, yo, if I go back out there now, the kind of character Saunders is. Them man are full of ego. So he knew, yo, I'm gonna come back out here. I'm gonna get stopped on this stage. 70,000 people, millions watching around the world. He knew, yo, I'm gonna get stopped. You see what I mean? So he must have just said, yo, to his bedroom. They might have a safe word. You get what I'm saying? Where he said, yo, you get what I mean? Because the zone make a point to film the corner, whereas with like Sky do a thing where
they talk over the corner. They talk over.
They don't like to. Sky are funny with showing the corner, fam. Whereas the zone show what man is saying in the corner. All they have to do is release the corner footage, but they're not going to release it because I'm telling you now, Saunders has probably said to her, yo, don't release that footage, you know.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Or someone else told him not to release the footage, you know. You know what I'm saying? The godfather of boxing, whatever him named it. Yeah, someone else said don't really. Let's talk about Billy Joe Saunders' dad get thrown on his butt by the security. You see that one, right?
Man, yo, that was mad. Like, you know what it is with these, man? This is what I'm saying. Every time you see Fury and Saunders, and they're always talking about, yo, we're gypsies and, you know, we're fighting men and, you know, there's no quitting us and we'll fight man for free and all this stuff, yeah? I seen his dad jump over the little fence thing and I seen the security run up on his dad like he stole something from and just barge him. And I seen Fury just watching. I'm saying, come on, Fury, man. You can even step over there and with the influence you've got, you could have did. Them man just watched. It was only one of them who jumped over the fence.
Yeah, that was.
So I'm saying, yo, if I'm seeing my bedroom's dad getting tacked up like that, I'm jumping over. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, but let's go back. But by the way, before we get into that, my man's talking about Canelo's trainer. Yeah, he was the owner of the gloves, but the gloves are being checked by Texas Commission. So I'm not gonna go into no conspiracy theories that, you know, Canelo had different gloves from Billy. But bruv, end of the day, that's for his team to check on. So if he owns the glove and they're making money, that more power to him. But being the owner and being a maker of the gloves is a whole different thing. So let's go back into Billy Joe Saunders' dad, yeah. Let's look at it now. He illegally jumped over the barrier, you know. You know, and they put him in a section where, for what I was looking at, is like, bro, that section wasn't even good. It looked like the ring post, but probably when they're close, they were probably closer, right? Now that's his son. But there's a way of conducting yourself, man. He ran up and it looked like he tried to grab he jumped over the barrier. You see him look left, right, jump over the barrier, and he ran up, looked like he tried to grab man by his neck. That guy, most of that security, Jerry Jones, they're former football players. Yeah, I know they're former football players because Jerry Jones has a good relationship with the NFL and they use them kind of security. When you roll up there, that's how you threw him down. That was American football tackle because the guy was just defending himself. It's like the guy tried to grab him and he's like, yo, and he just rolled him down to the guy. He didn't know who he was. He knew he was wearing a Saunders thing, but I think the security the whole week was told to look out for him. That's why they were there. That's why these people were there, because them lot are known for trouble. And when the moment Billy Joe Saunders and them lot was causing trouble in the hotel, they were marked. You know, like a marked man. That was it, bruv. But let's go back to Fury should have Fury should have did it, bruv. Fury didn't want no trouble, bruv. He don't want no trouble, man. When it come down to it, the fighting man and all them things, he didn't want no smoke. But
that's just a big bag of talk, EJ, because man talk all that talk, but I'm telling you now, I ain't got no skills nowhere near them mans. But if man jump on my bedroom's dad like that, I'm over that fence with the quickness. I don't understand how a man saying he's a fighting man and his dad is damn near a senior citizen, fam. And the security just tacked up his dad. And it's mad that someone was filming it, but Fury just stood there and watched it. And to me, it just looked weird. It just look weird, fam, because I ain't letting no man box my bedroom's dad like that or even tack him up the way he tacked him up. I just think them like, and even with all that, I fight man in a phone booth and then you're moaning about there's three people. I'm not going to mention the third person, but there's three people I can't watch their interviews. Fury is one. I can't watch his interviews. Man just talks pure nonsense. And I can't watch Saunders. It's too much there's too much comical element to their talk. And all that talk, like this is what I'm saying, all that talk of I'm a fighting man and yo, man will have to carry me out on a stretcher and
gypsies don't quit. Gypsies don't quit. That's what I heard. Gypsies don't quit.
The man them that are on the road don't quit. I know that for a fact. To get me, because the gypsies that are in Brom are very serious, fam.
No, but the
Trust me.
no, but listen to this, yeah. They're not stupid enough to put themselves out there. And let's talk about most men in general. Like you said, like Canelo, men are quite tough, but I know they're quiet. They're not very thing. Only when you turn up on them, they turn up. But the mans who talk a lot, yeah, I always find them when it comes down to it, they're the ones usually cave up when action starts kicking off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The ones that are saying, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And when it comes down to it, you can see how they roll up. You said there was a third guy. You said who was the third guy?
There's a third guy, but I don't even really want to even call his name on the thing because he's one of the man. He's one of the man them still.
Which one? Is it one of the man we was just talking about?
Nah. It's one of the man them. I'll tell you off air, but I don't even want to even. You get me? But he's the next man who chats beer nonsense on interviews as well.
Okay, fair enough.
So it's hard listening. It's just mad, but I think there's a lot of agendas. That's why I love channels like yourself. I love channels like yourself where man can just watch and listen to some reality in the sense of that I'm hearing real talk. Whereas when I'm listening to a lot of these bigger channels, there's agendas.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of agendas with guys who are protecting fighters and trying to control the narrative. I don't like that.
Nah.
You see what I'm saying? I don't like that because with Canelo, the way our Sky have kind of reported it and the way our the British media are reporting it is like, he was winning, but he got caught, and he's like Canelo weren't trying to land that shot.
Bro.
So I mean, there's no such thing as a lucky punch, fam.
Nah,
these man train. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, but
I have two rounds. Yeah, they gave the first round, and I watched it. Okay, it was close, but let's give Billy rounds, innit? Let's give him. He didn't win it. Let's give it because it's close to Billy. Fine, first round because he wasn't winning nothing good. Then I think the fifth round that Billy did pretty well. He kind of outworked Canelo. But the thing is, when he's outworking him, even the first, there's no when you talk about scoring, clean, effective. So effective means power punches. Yeah, right. There weren't no real power punches. You get me? Power punches. So it wasn't like he was winning big and clean. But OG. Hey, go ahead. Who's OG? Oh, mate, who's OG?
Yo, bro, you hear me?
Yeah, who's this, bro?
This is El Jefe, bro. What's happening?
Do I know where I know you from?
I don't know. I don't think you know me, bro. But I was just listening in, bro, and I saw the link and I hit it.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Express you. Carry on. All right.
So that's basically where I'm at with it. I just don't like the narrative that's being pushed, and I feel like, like I said earlier, that Dubois tried to fight on, fam, and he did quit. But he tried to fight. Brook tried to fight because that kind of pain, for real, I don't think you can't put into words what kind of pain that man would be in. But I'm just saying that we need to keep the same energy. If Dubois quit, Saunders quit. If Brook quit, Saunders quit. But everyone's saying, nah, Saunders didn't quit. Nah, it was his corner that put. And this is the problem. And this is why I say that, trainers should protect the fighters as well. Because that's why I didn't understand why Dubois was taking a knee. Make it to the end of the round and make your trainer pull you out. Because once you get that label, as we've seen with O'Hara, man start anytime O'Hara does a video, someone calls him the black quitter in the comments.
That comes from
Tyler. Yeah, my man from Sheffield. Yeah. Get me? But even with my man, don't get me wrong, some of his stuff's funny and that, but once you get that label on yourself, you're done out here, fam.
Listen, I must admit, when it comes to these sort of things, the label will stick. But the thing is, a lot of these stuff, they bring it on themselves, and the thing is, let's go back to the UK press. Bruv, when I hear all of them talking about, he didn't quit, it's a bit strong word to say he quit. But you didn't feel no ways about saying that about Daniel Dubois. But with Billy, somewhere along the line, it seemed like people just don't want to say it. Yeah, he quit, man. Let's roll up. And the narrative been out there. People getting upset. He quit, and the injury, whatever. But you see, the thing is, the bottom line is that this is the pain game, and this is the professional boxing. He's been a champion. He's been undefeated for many a year. And as much, and this is one thing I got from the great Fernie Pacheco, the fight doctor, right? who used to be Muhammad Ali, and he's a commentator. He mentioned something to me that I always stuck with me, right? He said when Sonny Liston used to knock out all the opponents, yeah, and he knocked out a lot of opponents. When it was his time to get that beating, he should have took it like a man when Ali was putting it on him. But you know what he did? He sat there on his stool. He sat there on his stool with his eyes swelled up, and he didn't want to get up. Same with George Foreman. Like George Foreman lay down on the ring when Ali put it on him. Yeah, lay down up at all the people he knocked out. So when it was your time to get your beating, you wasn't about it, right? And that's what the sport comes down to. That's where there's so much backlash. And then somewhere along the line, people know that. People know that Roberto Duran, yeah, no mass, yeah, for years. Panamanian, he's known for no mass. He's known for that. But you know, he come back and changed his career. But bruv, because he couldn't be, it wasn't like he was hurt. He just couldn't be bothered, right? And people was like, what do you mean you can't be bothered? Yeah, what is this? You can't be bothered because you didn't feel like it. It was all right when he was beating like Sugar Ray Leonard, but when it was his time and he was just getting out of school, he's like, nah, I can't be bothered to take this. And he wasn't hurt now. He just gave up. Really, he couldn't be bothered. He's like, can't bother, no mass, nah, no must. But Billy, when he was in the corner, same thing like Sonny Liston, sat there after all the people he beat, like Andy Lee, David Lemieux, when he's taking the mick out of him and all that. Now was when it's your time to get a beat. Come out the corner, Bridget. Push him out the corner. Go out there and you go out there and be a man. But you didn't be standing and counting. And you know what? He's going to have to look himself in the mirror and look at himself and say to yourself, I'm going to put my interview with Billy Joe Saunders real quick, yeah? Because, you know, I quit him at the Canelo and Triple G press conference when they came to London. It was their first press conference, right? Yeah. And I interviewed him. This is a little snippet of when I talked to him. You could kind of see now. When I shook his hand, yeah, his hand was soggy. And I always remember that, yeah, it was soggy. Usually when men shake your hand, it's hard. You know, he give you a hard shake, but his hand was soggy. And Oscar De La Hoya gave me that as well. And Oscar De La Hoya, he's another deviant doing dodgy things. But you can see by this interview, when I'm talking to him, why is he looking at the ground when he's talking about fighting these guys? There you go. EJ Boxing Live here with Billy Joe Saunders. What are you going to say to Billy? What I'd like to put out.
Come here, you got to get in this fin there.
Good. What do you want to say?
How do you feel this man is going to be taking over your business?
What are you talking about? This is room for everyone.
Yeah, but he's going to be taking the full business. Come here. Don't go nowhere. Come here. Come here. Come here, Ribbit.
This guy. All right, back to it. Billy, what do you want to say to the critics of you? You've got a lot of critics on social media coming out and saying certain things.
A lot to say to them, suck Morse's penis. No, but on the reals, yeah. Ideally, you'd probably want to fight Canelo out of the two. Do you know what? Either I don't mind. I generally don't mind. I would like Golovkin to fight Golovkin because everyone raves on about him, and I know that he's not invincible. So it'd be nice to be the first man to take him out of the game. But if Canelo's going to do it, then good luck to him.
All right, so that's my thing. Sorry, it froze a bit, but Billy, he winding up Cougar and say I'm taking over the game, which is probably true anyway. But Billy Joe Saunders, yeah, that's my interview with him. You know, that's the only time I've really interacted with him. I interacted with him another time I was in Tom Little's dressing room, and you know Ben Davis, right? Ben Davis he's a busy guy, you know. He's actually training. I heard he's helping training Devin Haney, and he's gonna be in Josh Taylor's corner. We can talk about that a bit thing, but let me move on to my man one of them ones. He's still there.
Yeah, big up. Yeah,
big up, man. That's Express Truth, man. You guys say hello to each other.
Yeah, big up Express.
Yeah, man, respect, bro.
Each and every time.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You know what? You lot stole my thunder, you know. Because I was saying because I saw the fight live, you know, I've kind of been out of touch with boxing for a little minute still. I'm gonna try jump on the thing again. Because I heard all of that about Dubois. Oh, he quit. All these armchair YouTubers talking about Dubois quit. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, it's all well and good from the comfort of your own home, sitting on your sofa, talking about a man who's got his eye socket broken, quit, and all of that. What he should have continued and let his eye socket get mashed up and go blind, so that you can say, "Oh yeah, he didn't quit." No, that's some foolishness. It is what it is. So okay, all right, cool. So Dubois quit, but then, like Express Truth was just saying, Billy didn't even come out of the corner. He didn't even come out of the corner. At least, I mean, Dubois took a knee. He tried to fight out, but he took a knee. Billy didn't even come out of the corner. And I don't hear these people talking about, oh, yeah, all right, Billy quit. He quit. That same energy wasn't there. And I'm thinking to myself, boy, you know what? I'm not even in the game like that. So, but it is sad, though I shouldn't be shocked or disappointed because it's, it's just a bias or whatnot. But yeah, that same energy wasn't there. When Billy quit, I don't hear none of these big outlets, the usual suspects talking about, yeah, he quit. He quit. When same with AJ against Ruiz, he quit. Right? But Billy Joe, he just lost. Like so yeah, that's disappointing. But I think you man covered that in detail, you get me? But I just haven't been hearing that narrative or even those comments out there at all. But perhaps I'm not best qualified anyway, because I'm not really too in touch with the media right now, boxing media.
That's what. Did you see his dad get flinged down by the security? You see that?
No, I haven't even seen that. I was learning that from what you guys just talking just now.
Yeah, that's everywhere, man. That's everywhere. And the video with Mark Tibbs have been took down from Michelle Joy Phelps, took down from Seconds Out. They took the interview down because obviously this is where people got the quit from, because it was Mark Tibbs who was the one who said that, I was a bit disappointed. I thought he could have another round, but he indicated he couldn't continue. So, it was up to me, and I said he couldn't continue, and that was it. But he got the indication from Billy. This is what I'm saying. That's why we know he quit. Then now that interview of that has been gone. It's been wiped off internet. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Other people have uploaded it on their channel, because if I type Mark Tibbs, I found the interview. But if they find it, they're gonna get rid of it, right? So of that, him saying that now. So now you got the other narrative. Now Ben Davis has come out, say I was the one who decided that he quit. He actually didn't want to quit. And Billy Joe Saunders, he's made many world champions. I've seen it in sparring quit. I'm not saying their names, but he's done it. And this is what David said. I was like, bro, do you think we're childs? Do you think I'm a Windsor? I mean, who are you talking to? You must think you're talking to kids, And then and he said it was my idea. And then I was like, hold on a minute, why are you even in the corner, Carl? Hold on a minute, Billy Joe Saunders, I swear he sacked you, yeah, because you was training with him. And then John Fury came out and said, bruv, if this guy is training my son's gonna lose. I can see it coming. Right. And Billy got rid of him and got with Mark Tibbs. Then all of a sudden the guy emerged in the corner. Everyone's like, where's he come from? And all of a sudden you're talking like whoa, you know what I mean? Like Black Rob, like whoa, in the corner. Where's this talk coming from? I mean, people can clearly see the bias. I know, and maybe you're not watching all the interviews, but everyone is, and everyone's sitting there watching this. It's like this propaganda thing is deep. IFL, Seconds Out, Boxing Social are not really in that. I wouldn't really throw them into that equation. But the normal subject.
Yeah, them man are from Brom, fam. They keep it official, even though they're
social.
What's social from Brom? Yeah, they're from Brom.
Okay.
Yeah. For some reason, they haven't really. But the thing is, normally everyone's talking on it, and people are touchy to say quit. The man quit. I'll tell you right now, EJ Boxer Live, man say the man quit in my opinion, but I don't. It's nothing. It's no biggie. Like, so what if I think he quit when I watched that TV? And the thing is, I actually, in my WhatsApp group, yeah, I don't know if you remember Express Truth, yeah, because I had a voice note in it. I said, I actually called it. I said, when he start to take lick, yeah, because many guys like him, they box and they do what they want. They've been the A side, but this is how boxing is. When you give up the A side, right, you then become an opponent for the guy. And when you're like that, yeah, things are not made comfortable for you, right? And when you go into a fight, you're not supposed to win it. You could feel it. When the adversity comes, he's just gonna say, nah, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need no money. But I don't think he thought it was gonna be that. I mean, I don't think that injury was that bad for him to quit. I honestly don't. I think it was like a burst blood vessel. I don't think there was no breakages. I think, in fact, yeah, I think the report, I'm telling you right now, I'm just going to be honest. I think the report is fake. And Teddy Atlas said so much as well. I want to see the doctor's report, because when they put the things out about, yeah, he brokeage and it's just breakages and all them stuff, it's to gain the garner sympathy, right? But in this situation, you know what Eddie Hearn said in that situation with Daniel Dubois? Well, I'm not sure if it's broken and I need to see the medical report. That's what Eddie Hearn said. He said, I want to see the medical reports, right? You can see the man's eye was big and swell up, right? So you think, something seems bad. Like Kell Brook had the kind of same injury where, he was in pain, right? And, now this has happened. Teddy Atlas said, yeah, and you can go check it out on his thing on the post interview, Canelo Alvarez, Billy Joe Saunders. He said, well, I know that's what the promoter's supposed to say. He's supposed to say them things, but I want to see give me the medical records. When I see the medical records, then I'll be satisfied. And that's what I'm saying. And I say it right now. Show me the medical records where he's got multiple fractured bones in his eye, like in his face, like that. Because, bro, yeah, go ahead.
Hey, EJ. So let's keep it real. What you're really saying is that my man's some fake traveler. Cause you know them travelers are proud about being fighting and all that. You're saying he's not even about that life. He talks it, but he's not that.
Yeah, it's a lot of talk, fam. It's a lot of talk. It's mad with them because they're the first set of man. Fury and Saunders are the first guys to come out and everything, and Coleman quitters and we've been fighting for hundreds of years. And don't get me wrong, that's true. I'm not saying they weren't fighting, but yo,
hold on, stop there. They've been fighting, getting their ass whipped for hundreds of years as well. What about them apples, bro? Because you've been fighting, don't mean you've been winning. So
hey, EJ, you're wicked, you know.
Go ahead, Express. They've been getting their ass whipped for hundreds of years.
Because I just, you know what it is, I feel like I don't even want to bring no racial thing to the channel, fam, but I feel like when Dubois quit, man were almost trying to make it like
the black quitter.
Like, yeah, they're like, man, that's why I don't really respect that youth from Sheffield still, because I notice it goes harder on when the man them quit. You get me?
Yeah, of course he does.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And this is why I say, like, I want to, and that's his boy. That's Saunders' brethren. I know. So you ain't gonna see him going on Saunders. You see what I mean? So I'm just saying, I hate the bias, fam. I hate the bias.
You know what, Express? Hey, feel no way, you know, because you see what you just saying there, like you don't want to make it like a rape. No, I feel the same way, you know, brethren. Yeah. But the one thing I do know about, you know, I'm gonna have to say this now. I don't even want to turn this into a racial thing. But I'll say this. You see the thing about the UK, the press, and how they do racism, it's slick. You see it. You see in America, they do racism like Rambo. In the UK, they do racism like James Bond. You see it. So it's like, you know it's there, but it's kind of like they've got plausible deniability to say, I didn't say that. Like, you know, well, I said that, but it could have meant this. And actually, you're the one who's being hypersensitive about woo.
And that's what bothers me, you know, bro. That's what bothers me, because I understand that will come from, it will come from other communities. But when I see man that look like us on channels chanting down us, yeah, and then when it's the next man, they're not keeping the same energy. That's what bothers me, because Dubois is a man. I know a man who grew up on Dubois' block, you know, and he said that Dubois used to go in from early, running, road work. You know, his dad had him on it from early, fam. But it's like his dad pushed him to be a boxer. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to explain is, I'm not saying that his heart were in it, but that was his dad's dream more so than his. That's what I kind of take from what the brother was telling me.
Right.
So when these men that claim to be in the circles, because I know London's a different place from Birmingham, but the mans that are in the circles in London supposed to know that. So when that thing went on with Dubois, I understand what EJ said. He said that thing about the mom and all that. I don't agree with that, by the way, but I just feel like, yo, keep the same energy, man. Because mans have made it a point to go on these channels defending Billy, and I'm saying, this is crazy. Like, this is what money will make man do. See what I mean? Like, you're going to turn around and you're throwing him under the bus, but a man that you eat with, you're protecting. And that's what I don't like. That's what I don't like.
But you know, the thing is, before we, you know, you kind of can get drawn into that, but you know, going back to the booth, Tywin Booth and them thing there, yeah, he says things that other black people won't say, and that's why he draws that kind of audience, right? So that's why I don't par with him, right? But you know, Daniel Dubois, and they're all together, like in a way, because you know, when you say, and this all comes down to me, I know I understand the color when I look at Daniel Dubois and look at certain people, but to me, it becomes down to their mouth, right? You reap what you sow, and the chickens come home to roost. You can't be talking about man's mother, right? and she's partially blind, even though she's saying stuff about you, but you look at her, you just address the fighter and they say, oh, look, I'm gonna deal with your son, and that's that, right? But you don't have to mention I'm gonna knock out your son, yeah, so you won't be able to see him no more. It's dread.
Now, but EJ, we know how Dubois moves, and he's not. But think about it, EJ. Just hear me out for 1 second.
Yeah,
we know that Dubois is a man who can't talk, fam. He don't talk when he's on interviews. He don't talk. He's a weird kind of youth.
I can tell you why. I can tell you why, though. I can tell you why.
So what I'm trying to get at with saying this is, that I feel so that somebody on the team told him to say that to sell the fight.
I know. Okay, I heard that narrative as well. But what I'm trying to say to you is that, see what I'm trying to say to you. When you say certain thing, about stuff like that, don't be surprised when the beating come your way. And you know what? He took it. Right, and he quit, and he got a lot of stick for the thing, right? I never thought he was gonna win the fight. I picked Joe Joyce because he had more experience, right? And I've seen Joe Joyce, and he's pretty tough, right? My thing was Daniel Boy was gonna lose because I haven't seen him get punched yet, but he showed he was pretty tough, yeah, and he took some lick. But that corner was the worst. Oh, you're in a real fight now, and they got the end swell. So man's eyes swell up, and they're pushing the end swell on the bone. I'm like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to push that much pressure on the bone. And why didn't they tell him to move his head? So anyway, he got that beaten. And he got criticized. O'Hara got the beating by Taylor. He got the criticized. Okay, cool. Safe. No problem, you right? Move on. Now, Billy's getting that beating. You can't expect them people. You can't expect them people to jump on their boy. But you see the funny, that's what makes it even funny. And you know what makes it even funnier? The propaganda. That's what's killing it off. That's what's making man carry on, Because you know what? When was the fight? The fight was on the weekend, right? We're still talking about it now because them man are still putting videos up trying to tell us that that's not what we saw didn't happen. The man never quit. That's what's making it even funnier. That's what
because that's what I'm saying, that the sponsorship, God knows what the deal is, what they've got with MTK, but they're obviously paying them nice to be able to do that, because Coogan's a man who don't usually give his opinion on things. He's just a man that says, okay, and then on to the next. He don't really give his opinion because he's not trying to damage relationships. But anytime it's a MTK, I know that Billy's his brethren anyway, but when it's like a MTK fighter, IFL back them to the T, fam.
Yeah.
IFL back them to the T. So they practically interview, and they always draw for my man a go. Every time that happens now, a goes on the channel. Oh, nah, you want him to lose his eye? Blood, we know what boxing's about, fam. When I done a little team back in the day. We know what it's about, fam. From you jump in the ring, you know what it's about. So I mean, you know what it's about, and the thing is, there's levels to this thing. So when you start jumping in with higher competition, things can go on, fam.
Yeah. But you see, the thing is, Fury. Now listen to this. This still ties into the Tyson Fury thing now, yeah. The reason why Tyson Fury he was the money in the bank account now, because after he saw to his boy, when he saw his boy get tucked in, they realized, they're on their last legs. All this fighting man talk and all them thing there. Fury saw what could happen to him. You know what I mean? Against Anthony Joshua. And I feel that's what's gonna happen. Joshua's gonna pound him into flour. That's what I think. Joshua's gonna pound him in. He's been out the ring for nearly 2 years. He needs the money, because he looked like, to me, when Billy's dad get flung down, it looked like he was looking for something to put. I ain't gonna say he put up his nose or drink or that, but he needed a fix. He was doomed up. He didn't know what to do with himself, bro. If he was convinced that Billy was gonna win, but he never thought Billy was gonna quit. He never thought that was gonna happen. And even the dad was like, "What? My son quit? I couldn't have it. I need to see what's going on." You know what I mean? And he get fling on his back. So my whole thing is this, the propaganda what has been put out is the worst. They talk about Germany and England dust us bad, right? They dust us bad. And every reporter you can name, he didn't quit. I don't think he quit. Everyone's saying that. You blasted lies. Now, this is the guy, the OG guy, the American guy, he jumped out. The shame that he jumped out, Carl. I wanted to ask you because he's from America. When in America, they got some people are actually saying he quit. Now, listen to this. In the Ring magazine, someone was laughing at, but they actually had a tweet or something, what came out, and they said Billy quit. And bruv, everyone, I don't know where it came from, for whatever, they went at that guy from Golden Boy. They went to find out who put that tweet out. because he got a race though. But someone put the tweet out that yeah, good, he quit. And like people were looking for the Ring magazine actually. They were looking for that tweet. So it's looked like there's some big whitewash. Anyone coming out and not putting that narrative out there, they're getting dealt with. So you're right. The sports writers are, for whatever reason, are afraid or whatever reason not to say that the truth of what happened. It's like there's some serious intimidation of what's going on. But let me tell you something. I'm not gonna be bothered about it. The truth is the truth. The man quit. Right, and that was it. And Billy can go on with his life. It's not no big thing to me. That's what happened.
And the thing, there's big fights out there for Billy because if I was him, he can jump in with Eubank.
He's come back.
He's done, bro. He's done, bro.
He can fight Eubank, fam. Trust me, and make a money.
You can't, bro. Eubank after that thing, Eubank will turn into a savage on him, bro. Eubank a savage.
Yeah, but Eubank's not Canelo, blood. Man can dance around Eubank, fam. Look what Groves did to him.
Nah, he's not. Billy's not. Billy's like Humpty Dumpty, man. He's broken. He's not the same no more. You get me?
Hey, do you think that like a lot of people's opinion about Billy Joe Saunders is post David Lemieux because he put on that masterclass, that clinic against David Lemieux? Like prior to that, that one fight there just shot him up levels.
Yeah,
it was like raw. Okay, he can move like that.
Yeah, but but David Lemieux's whack though, man. See,
I know he is. Yeah,
he's whacking. Like the thing is, them guys. This is the thing, right? In that division, David Lemieux was another guy in it. Like he's a like a what is? I think the fight was at middleweight, right? So Billy put a masterclass again because he's not really winding. So Billy went over and did that against a Canadian, right? But the thing is, the top tier guys like Golovkin, they were all there. And Billy, you heard him. He was at that press conference in there. And Canelo remembered, because I was there, I remember how Canelo was looking at him. Canelo looking at him like meat, man. And Golovkin, they both looking at him, yeah, and they wanted to do him because he was so rude. Who's this guy? And they go, he's the guy in the champion. So when Canelo had his chance, you see how the man come out in his robe? Man, that's disrespectful, you know. Man, come out in his robe, you know. It was a nice robe, though, Billy. It was a nice robe.
Nah. You know what it is, EJ? The reason why man are wearing that robe is because you see when McGregor fought Mayweather.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's him that robe there. You see that Versace robe? It's about $8 bills. Enough man, all kind of different man are rocking. So I don't really take nothing from that. Because a lot of man are rocking that robe. Just man that are in rap videos and stuff are wearing that robe.
It looked trashy, bro.
But it's the respect. It's the respect element.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you come out in that robe, that's what I'm saying. When they come out in that robe, you're like, bruv. Like McGregor, I see McGregor in a fur coat come out right with Mayweather. But that's McGregor. But you see them men, they come in the robe. You see how they get turned out though. Because the beating's even worse though. Because like McGregor's lucky and he didn't get put on his back. But that's when the next fight in. Look what happened to McGregor next fight when he fought against Khabib. Man nearly take off his neck, bruv. And Billy Joe Saunders in his next fight, he's gonna get turned out, man. So I'm saying if I was Billy, I take my 8 mil. I heard he made 8 mil, reportedly, but
US.
Yeah, probably free. Man, I heard it was 3 mil. That's what I heard, right? But anyway, let's go with 8 mil, whatever he took. Yeah, take that and chill. Just sit on your backside and chill. But you know the thing is, I don't think he will because his pride might be bent and people are rinsing him out and rightly so. Some of the stuff you said, but it's all fun and war. It's just nothing personal, mate. But you said some stuff, and we can come back. Go ahead.
Let me jump in quick. I have to bounce in a minute. You see, Saunders, and he'll fight again. I'll tell you why. When he was in the Ingo gym, I know a couple man down there still, and they say that them man they buy big whips, big watches. Like, although it sounds like a lot of money, at the rate that them man spend, he's gonna have to fight, blood, if he wants to keep. He always talks about, I got all these investments and rare, but the way I spend, that alone will make a man fight. If the Eubank fight's worth a couple mil. So I mean, and once his eyes healed and that, he'll think that he can beat him in it. Because Billy has come on leaps and bounds since the first. I was at that fight as well. But he's come on leaps and bounds since then. So now I reckon he'll just probably take one more payday and bounce. But before I bounce though quickly, what about the Andrade thing though?
Oh, Booba Andrade roll up in the presser.
Yeah. I did see that. Yeah, I did see that.
My thing.
It didn't even seem like.
Go ahead.
It didn't even seem like it was that deep, and it looked like Andrade and his pups like kind of caught feelings too quick, like too easy. It was like, you man catching feelings like that, man. Like, just cool off. Like, it's not even that deep. Like, it's just a bit of, you know what I mean, shit talking back and forth. Like, my man's dad's getting all upset like he want to do him something.
Nah, you know what it is? You know what it is? You see when who was it? Was it Lara that bowled into the press conference?
Who's that?
Wasn't it Lara? When he bowled,
Canelo,
Canelo weren't looking to fight Lara, yeah. And when Lara bowled into the press conference, Canelo he's a funny kind of man, and he's not really into the disrespect kind of thing. So I think Andrade was trying to do that, but I feel like he won't get that fight now. After doing that, I feel like Canelo won't fight him, fam. He's a man whose career's gone to waste, man.
Yeah, but you know, it's a funny thing, that one, yeah, because I thought Eddie Hearn told him to do that. That's just me. I'm being honest with you, because you know, conveniently the camera's in the right place at the right time, and that's what Eddie Hearn's smiling. Yeah, and what he did, he told him, look, use these English words. It's going to be good for the presser. I don't know English words. All right, let's use the F words. Let's use them. Fuck off, because he told him, like, he told Andrade, this is what I feel, to roll up. Then he also told Andrade that my man's gonna come up, because how conveniently Canelo was ready to go. I mean, the English language was pure, you know. Goes, yeah, I go, what did he say? Andrade said, yeah, I'm a fan. He goes, I know. I said, yo.
That's funny.
Yeah, look at a payday. I said, nah, bruv. Look at it. All right, what I'm gonna show, right? I'm gonna show you guys haven't seen this. Right, but this only came out 3 hours ago. So what we're gonna see a reverse angle of the situation in it. I'm gonna just show the screen, and it might be a bit choppy, but you'll get an idea of what's going on. Hold on, I know you want to go Express Truth, so let me just get this in quickly. You know, I saw it today earlier on, and let me just run this real quick. Okay, let me just get this on the screen real quick, because you know you can see it from a reverse angle out here. It's funny, man. All right, let me see this. Where is it? There you go. Canelo Andrade. That one. It's this one, isn't it? There you go. Share that. All right. You guys see this on the screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Is it clear?
Yeah, it's choppy. Yeah, it's choppy.
Now keep watching.
Hey, you run your mouth? Watch your fucking mouth. Hey. There you go, guys, please. Hey, you never get the fight, man. You're a horrible fighter. Horrible fighter.
Payday, I know that. Payday.
Said when I see it, man said when I see you, it's on, you know.
But what's this now? I'm gonna show you something. Let me show you something though. What's this now? When they come up, now what's this now? When they come out now, look at this. Look at the security guard. A big hug, yeah? Look, they shake hands, bruv. Look, see? Bruv. Now, look. Why are they all friendly now? Look, why are they all friendly now? This thing was set up, bruv. You know what I mean? I think Eddie Hearn done that to juice it up, to make the fight with these guys in it. What do you guys think? You think it was set up?
Well, I don't think you're far off. Like, I mean, it's not beyond Eddie Hearn to do something like that. Wasn't it him that told Davis to like blonde up his hair and all of them type of So I mean, you know, Hearn's about the tactics and the gimmicks and the, you know, do something to sell, because he's a promoter, innit?
Yeah. You see, the thing is, when I look at that, it's like the cameras are in the right place at the right time, and I just felt like it was a setup, man. But what do you think of Express Truth? Go ahead, say your piece.
Yeah, I feel like Hearn might have said to him, "Yo, come through and stick it on Canelo," and then he might give you the fight. Because don't get it twisted, even though Hearn's up there and they're all sitting with him, Canelo's his own boss, fam. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like Hearn might have said, "Yo, come try a thing." Come try a thing, and it looks like it didn't work. But if Hearn did call him to do that, he kind of threw him under the bus too, because he was like, nah, not at the press conference, not at the press conference. And then when a man said, get the F out of here, and then he's like, watch when I see you outside and all that. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You're not getting near Canelo, fam.
No.
You're not getting near. That's what I was like. But I guess you need them kind of things to build the fight. But because he knew that it would bond him to call him a horrible fighter as well. That's why Canelo was saying that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I reckon Eddie played both sides, and he sat there smiling because conveniently, them man, they look, as you can see, they came there and it was right there, wanting to say something. I'm like, okay, so where they came through that door, they got to that point, and all of a sudden the camera's conveniently there to start something and to try and build something. But you can, I don't know, you want to pay there, you want to pay there. Canelo made him look like an idiot though. He made him look like a fool, and that, I just, it didn't go well for Booba Andrade. Canelo said some truths though, and he said he never fight no one. You know what I mean? He said you never fight no one, but
man docked him though.
Yeah, but who was the guy that Eubank broke up in the boxing scene? Yildirim. Who had he fought? Who had
it's true.
Who is it? Who else did he fight? Some no-name guy at super middleweight. I forget his name. UK guy.
Loads of them.
Yeah, a whole bunch of people. Yeah.
Rocky Fielding.
Fielding. That's it. Yeah.
Rocky from Stocky, innit?
The man fight. Canelo. Yeah, Canelo's better. Be a UK man now. That's about the fifth one. Because he's had Callum Smith. He's had Callum Smith. Yeah, beat Liam Smith.
Beat up
two brothers. Man, stop two brothers, fam. Then freaking Billy Joe now. I think he'll give Eubank the fight once he takes all the belt. I think he'll give him a fight.
I don't think that's a good fight for Eubank, boy.
He's getting stopped. He's getting stopped.
He's another guy who run up his mouth. He'll sell the press and make people believe that he's gonna win. You know what I mean? Because Eubank will run up, but when it comes down to every fight, he stepped up or he loses. Apart from the James the Grove, he loses. When he's in that big light, he just freezes. You know what I mean? He just ain't got it. Even though Roy Jones is with him in the corner, I don't think it's gonna help him though.
I just don't think I just think this is his limit. Like I just don't think he's the goods. Like domestic, he's all right, but world, forget it. Like
he's not beating Charlo either, fam.
Oh, Charlo's another one.
Yeah, he's not beating him either.
Anyone got Canelo beating? Anyone got K.o.s Plant beating Canelo?
Nah, I don't think so. I think so. I mean, I like what I see from Plant, but Canelo, you know what? Do you know the funny thing about this? I got kind of a love-hate relationship with this Canelo situation now, because it's like he's not invincible. He can be beat. He's not. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, oh shit, how do you beat this guy? Like he has been in many fights where he was losing. In my opinion, he lost against Lara. Who else did he lose to? But anyway, it's not even about that. I think with Plant, Canelo's chin, man, is something else. Like it's certified. From when he was taking them type of shots from Triple G, I saw my man's neck get snapped back. That was the knockout type punches, and Canelo just looked it off like nothing, like it was a Sunday afternoon. And I'm thinking, wait, hold on a second. My man just spun your neck 360 degrees and you're shrugging yourself like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Them man are built different, man. Them man are built different. But I need to chip out though. But we could stream EJ. Big up yourself as well.
Yeah, man. Hey, if you don't know, people, make sure you subscribe to Express Truth. The Express Truth are on YouTube and they're also on Spotify. Man. Make sure you goes over and sub to my man.
Yeah,
man,
I feel
definitely.
like I've got to say Bible facts. You get me?
Man, respect, man. Respect. All right, then. Yeah, I'm gonna carry on listening, man. Yeah.
All right, nice. Bless her. Take care.
Big up.
Yeah, man. Make sure you guys subscribe, man. One of them's man. It's been a long time, brother. It's been a long time, brother. It's a long time, but a lot's gone in boxing, and the thing is, this boxing thing is so. People say, EJ, why are you still talking about this? What is me? Well, these people keep putting up propaganda and lies, man, every day. I wake up in the morning, I say, someone else is lying. Now, I'd leave it. I'd have left it long time ago, But now they force man hand. Teddy Atlas has asked for the medical reports. I want to see them as well. Whether we're going to see them is another thing. But you see, these people, And you know the stuff the way they conduct themselves, it's like, bro, it's hard to get. You know, people want the truth in boxing. They want people to tell the truth in terms of what's going on. It was a great fight. Billy was competitive, even though he was losing rounds. And in versa, he didn't want no smoke, and that's what it comes down to. Just say the truth and let's move on. It wouldn't be so bad, but you know the propaganda's there, and you know Tyson Fury and the AJ thing is the next thing, and then we got Josh Taylor, and I think Josh Taylor is gonna get a brack up, in my opinion, versus Ramirez. Ramirez is not that good, you know, but I just don't like Josh Taylor because he's with Ben Davis. What do you think?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I don't have too much of an opinion on that because there's a lot of stuff that I'm just unaware of. I mean, Josh Taylor hasn't fought since who was his last fight? It was what's his name? I'm sure. I swear he hasn't fought for like 2 years, isn't he? Or at least a year.
Who's that? Taylor.
Taylor. Yeah.
About a year, near enough a year, close to.
Yeah, about a year. Yeah.
Before December. Yeah.
What does like December 19?
Yeah. December 20, I think it was. It's December. There was a fight. It was a fight on. I can't remember. It was a fight on ESPN. It was one fight against one Japanese guy. The guy.
Okay.
It was a mismatch, man. It was but
right. Yeah, one of them type of. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Stay busy type thing. Yeah, I mean, I got this thing about UK fighters, and this kind of leads me on to another question that I'm gonna ask you in a second, but. You know, with a lot of UK fighters, I don't know what it is, but we just seem to have this kind of like a fighting Irish stance. You know, this kind of bolt upright, lamppost fighting style. You know, like Bruno, Joe Joyce, and Dubois. No head movement, just upright. Just, do you know what I mean? It's
to prove, the chest, beating on their chest to say, "I'm a man." Yeah, I'm more man than you. That's what Liam Williams was saying to Andrade, innit? When he got tased, when he got lick up with them uppercuts, bruv.
It seems to be a UK thing.
But but you have to be more specific. Certain fighters with that tendency, they're kind of the same. Now, all I'm saying is the other people them don't fight like that. You know what I mean? Andy Joshua's not really trying to fight that way. He's a bit movement, but he's a thing. Who else is like another guy? You know, other fighters, you know, Anthony Yard don't fight like that. And nor is Joshua Boxy. Lawrence Okoli don't fight that way. You know what I mean? But with them, Josh Kelly, is it Josh Kelly? Bro, listen, he got the Indonesian, whatever. I don't know what he was doing there. But what I'm saying is that, you know, you got people like, what's his name? Josh Warrington, Josh Kelly, Josh Taylor, all these lot. They're getting served up, man. They're getting served up. Eddie, in my opinion, has got a lot of guys, and a lot of them are just getting smashed to bits left, right, and center. And it's like, yo, when is the UK? UK is getting toasted. They're getting there to the America scene, and they're getting rinsed out. But you see, the thing is, no one's building them properly in it. And Eddie's on Eddie Hearn's watch. Frederick Warren is the same thing. He's rushing guys too early, and that's what it seems like. It's a rush. They don't even let guys mature to say, yo, can this guy get? And another thing as well, when they get the world title, how many of them are holding the belts for any length of time? You know what I mean? No one's holding it.
Yeah. So let me ask you this then, because like in recent weeks or months, even UK fighters have been getting turned over. You get me? There's just been a whole string of UK fighters just getting banged up. Warrington, Kelly, Saunders. You know what I mean? The list goes on. What? I don't know. Is it something about UK boxing that is just fundamentally missing from training, perhaps? Or is it just it is what it is? Enough UK guys are just getting bruck up.
Well, let's start in professional boxing. The first thing, if you want to be a professional boxer, the first thing the promoter will say to you, and the manager or promoter will say to you, can you sell tickets? They don't care if you can fight. Can you sell tickets? They don't care if you can fight. So if you can sell tickets, right, that's what they build you on. And then, you know, they'll build you accordingly and match you in a way that you could be, you know, they give you softies. And, you know, everyone's making money. But the moment they put you in a hard fight, you get turned over like a tortoise on your back. So that's what it is. But guys who can fight can't, what the promoter says, they can't sell tickets. You know what I'm saying? So there's actually guys who can fight, but the promoter said, he can't sell tickets, or I think he's boring. But you see, in other places, maybe that, you know, we've got the wrong identity. So you're looking at UK boxing, it's money rather than these guys got the skills to take me somewhere. You know what I mean? Or look at someone like Frankie Gavin. He won the World Games, right? And he didn't get to Olympics. He's very talented, yeah. But in the professional game, he didn't do nothing. So a lot of it, yeah, comes down to excess of money, getting money too early, and also being dedicated to the sport. There's guys, it's hard to be dedicated when a lot of these guys, they sell a lot of tickets, they make a lot of money, and the adulation, they feel like they've made it already. There's a lot of guys who turn up to these fights, like Billy Joe Saunders was there, like, bruv, this is my party. But no one told him that, bruv, Billy, you've been fighting softies for years.
Okay, yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. Some of them been fighting softies. Now, listen, if you want the real of the real, and you want to fight real competition to get you ready, that's what you need to get you ready. If you fight real competition, and I said to a lot of people, if I want to fight real, but this is what I should do if you're a professional fighter in England, in the UK. First off, my first professional fight should be against a 1-on-1. That's what you do in the amateurs, right? He's got one, a 0-0. He ain't got no fight, I ain't got no fight. Do you know why? Because now you got the anticipation that I might lose. So you win that fight. Second fight in, 1-on-1. Third, 1-on-1, 2-on-2. So but what I'm trying to say to you, match your records. They don't do that no more. So you're not built accordingly, because if you're fight, even if the guy, you don't know who he is, but if you're fighting a guy with the same similar record, then there's a chance you could lose and then have that danger. But what happens is that you're fighting your pro debut with a guy with 50 losses.
Yeah.
And he's like, bruv, and it's like you might knock him out or whatever, but how much credibility are you winning? You might feel, yeah, I'm good, but bruv, this guy's been knocked out like 10 times out of them 50 times. So in the pro game, it's like they match you in a way to keep you winning. They give you stylistically, but when you're on the world scene, that's it. That's all done now, because you won't be the A side, and that's what happened to Billy Joe Saunders. For the first time in his career, he wasn't the A side. Billy Joe Saunders, in every negotiation before that, he was always the A side. Right? And Bubu Andrade, he wasn't the A side. So that's why he got himself out of that fight. You see what I'm saying? Right? When he went the A side, he gets himself. But as soon as he makes it, like with Eubank, if he goes up, I think Eubank, him and we might be parity, or maybe not. I think Ben, Billy Joe will probably be like, a bit more because he earned more money. So he probably be the A side, right? So Billy should win the fight, but it depends what Billy's going to turn up. So what I'm trying to say to you is that the reason why UK fighters that they're being built wrong. They've been built wrong. That's why you're not going to get a lot of things. Anthony Joshua, for whatever reason, if anything, he probably got with his gold medalist experience, yeah, and with match fight, he done the right thing. But there's some matchups out there that there's Luis Ortiz. Anthony Joshua was supposed to fight. He didn't fight him. That's the fight I wanted to see, Luis Ortiz. There's also the Deontay Wilder fight. I wanted to see that fight between him because it's a different style and it looks like a hard style for him. And then Tyson Fury. Anthony Joshua's not the favorite against Tyson Fury. Everyone thinks there's a lot of people believe that Tyson Fury is going to beat him. So Anthony Joshua's still got a lot to prove in the thing. So I'm saying fighters not getting built properly as a professional, and when they get on the world stage, they get exposed. So that's the long.
Yeah, some good points that you make there. Some good points there. But what about the training though? Do you think there's something missing from the training, like in terms of skill set? I mean, like the Americans are kind of known for technical fighting. I guess the Cubans are as well. It's in their DNA. But I mean, it's hard to sort of group a lot of UK fighters together because I don't think we really have an identity, like a fighting identity, do we? Really?
Oh, that's a good point. Like the Cubans have an identity, and Americans have a style.
Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? Like the American.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. So you talk about the training methods, is what you're talking about.
I'm talking about the fighting style because like over here, like Kelly doesn't fight anywhere near like Josh Kelly doesn't fight like anywhere near like Josh Taylor to what's his name, Yard to Boatsi to, do you know what I mean? It's just
different styles, but the thing is, this is what I'm saying. Like, let me just put this in a nutshell. I could train any style, but is that style going to be effective? Does that style has longevity on the thing? Give me an example, like the Mike Tyson, the peekaboo style, right?
Right.
That's a style that's proven that even in the amateurs and the pros, that style is very effective. Only to a certain age, right? The style like Muhammad Ali, that style is proven that if you can adopt that style, is very good, right? The Manuel Stewart style, right? You know, the Hearn style, you know, they kind of upright. They're very explosive, jab, right hand, left hook, you know, they jab up and down. That style is very effective. So, you know, you have a lot of styles, but the only thing I say to you is that you have to be able to prove that on the biggest stages. And a lot of what's happened is that a lot of these guys are not winning the tournaments. They're not winning the tournament. Like I think Joe Calzaghe was a 3-time, 3 different weight ABA champion, which is unheard of, right? At 3 different weights, right? But even him, he had his life and death with you. He had a life and death with Eubank in their encounter. Eubank had that fight on short notice. He was like, "Yo, what?" He couldn't believe it, and I think that set him in good stead for the rest of his career. How he needed to go. But the professional game is much different. It's about it's longevity. It's about endurance. You know what I mean? So the game is different, but you know, I think to a big degree, the professional game is a lot of discipline. And, you know, not everyone's like Lennox Lewis. I mean, you know, Lennox Lewis, he went to the Olympics, right? And he lost in 88. He lost in Los Angeles. And then he waited 4 years to come back in Seoul. And a lot of guys are not disciplined like that. So the training styles can be implemented, but you always have to see how it does against top tier competition.
Yeah, you got to make it work. You got to be successful with it.
And that's where they're failing, because when they go against top tier competition, their style doesn't match up.
It doesn't
very
translate.
Well. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And what you do is like, you know, I'm an amateur trainer, right? So my fighter, I teach him this, I teach him that. So I put him in sparring. I want him to, and this is what sparring is supposed to be about. Supposed to be. When you teach your fighter certain things, when you put him in sparring, you want your fighter to do the stuff that you trained on, right? To see how it works in real time. So when something don't work, what you do, you throw that back and then you improve that. So you stick with what works and you move forward. You know what I mean? Until eventually, as a trainer myself, I have perfected my style. That's the style I'm gonna do for this fighter, right? And that style should work with everyone. But how can that style be proven unless I haven't seen it on the biggest stages out there? You know what I'm trying to say? You have to be able to see what your training methods is. Are they going to be effective? And that all comes down to, listen to this, very important. The key thing is mentorship. A lot of trainers, trainers, but they're not teachers. So you need to have a trainer who's willing to listen and a teacher ready to guide you through these things. And you don't really have that. You know, the old time trainers with the young guys in the corner, like the thing, Mark Tibbs and Jimmy Tibbs, that's very good. You know, Mark and Jimmy, right? They, you know, 2 different guys, but you're 2 different generations. So you need that kind of backing. You know, Mark Tibbs been around for years, right? So he knows certain things his dad does. So, you know, your style has to be able to translate. And then on top of that, you need the fighter to get through that. And then this is another thing as well. You got people in the fighter's ear telling him this, that, the other, whispering. Why did Ben Davis be in the corner when Mark Tibbs was the lead trainer? Stuff like that. So, you know, you have to be able to prove. Billy Joe Saunders' style translate on the world stage? It looks like it does, right? You know why? Because he fought in the Olympics, isn't it?
Well,
he fought in the Olympics, so his style, he fought Cubans and everything, and Americans and Cubans. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Only when you know your style has been as an amateur, when you've been against these styles in the highest level, then you can see if your style can work. And that's what I was trying to tell you. And then now you use that style and add stuff on, because you got smaller guys, and try and make it more effective. That's all I'm saying. You know, that's why. And if you look at the UK, how many guys you know have went to the Olympics of recent times, have done the Olympics? Because if you look at Amir Khan, done pretty well. Audley Harrison, not so much. Anthony Joshua done really well. James DeGale translated, didn't it? He did pretty well. You see what I'm trying to say? So, you know, you have to be able to, you know, have more experience, that when you turn pro, that you have the experience that your style can translate against the Americans. You have to be able to face them Americans earlier on. You know, Mike Tyson, when he was amateur, he was facing pros. They brought pros in when he was young. And then also Lennox Lewis sparred him, Frank Bruno sparred him. This is when he was like 17, you know. Like, so, you know, another thing as well, pro is about money. So, you know, if I've got a lot of money and I've got a fighter, if I want to make him better, I got to invest money in him on top sparring. If I bring top sparring, then I can get him ready for them things. So that's another factor as well, your style. But I hear what you're saying. You're talking about the training techniques, but the training techniques have to be proven against the fighter. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. Yeah, I mean, I just asked the question because I don't know, like we just been catching major L's.
No, major L's.
Major L's.
You know the funny thing about it, like Josh Warrington and them fans there, like some of the Mexicans and stuff like that. Some of the losses have been understandable, because if you look at the fighters, like Josh Warrington caught him off guard. He's like, who's this Mexican guy? But bruv, you've been matched well, and now you going to get some Mexican guy because Josh Wharton thinks he was a Mexican. So I want to fight a Mexican. They
Yeah,
give him
that
a
Mexican
guy.
style.
Yeah, he thought he was a Mexican as well.
Yeah, yeah. And
You
to
know
be
what I'm
fair, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of confused. I thought when he fought Frampton, I think it
Yeah.
was that Frampton fight. I was like,
Yeah.
yo.
Yeah, he was on it because Frampton was a low weight. He came up and Josh Wharton was stuff trying to make a name. The Lee Selby fight surprised me as well. You know what I mean? He beat all Lee Selby, Frampton, and he beat Kid Galliard. Some people thought Kid Galliard won the fight. And then he said, like, he was supposed to fight Kid Galliard. And he said, nah, I don't want to fight him. I'm not giving him the payday. Right? So he threw the belt in the bin. And he threw the belt away, man. And then he went against this guy and lost. What an idiot. You know, another thing as well, I can't understand it. Why, you know, you work so hard for your belt, well, you could just throw it away like that. I can't understand it. You know what I mean? It's like, why would you do that? You know, but you're right. You know, the training methods of some of these trainers, and you know, no one, and you know, the thing as well, you know, what you have brought up, no one's been held accountable. It's like it's okay to lose, innit? You know what I mean? It's like you'll see this guy back in the corner again. It's like, hold on a minute, because if you look at it, like Billy Joe Saunders, right? You got Mark Tibbs and what's his name again? Ben Davis, right? So they just lost. And he's back on, he's already getting a big fight in 2 weeks' time. The same guy in the corner of Billy Joe Saunders is going to be in a main fight. So how is he supposed to win if he was the main trainer the last time? So in effect, the other trainer, maybe other trainers are not getting them opportunities, you know what I mean? But these guys are no good, man. They're all company guys, maybe. They're all company guys and they're all friends with each other. And they want them to, you know, like the English football team, yeah? The English football team can be so much better. But why don't they put certain players there? Because they only want certain players to win. If we can't win with them, we don't care. We don't win. We just want it to win with them. You know what I'm saying? Because if I was the head of the English football team, I bet you I'd choose some players and we'd win games. I reckon. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's people in the country to win games, but they don't want it to win with certain players, and that's what it is. Maybe some cook trainers, they're getting the opportunities, but they're not doing it. Joe Gallagher's, the Ben Davisons, Shane McGuigan's doing it right though with his dad. Barry and Shane are pretty good though. They match because they got Lawrence Okoli and they got Carl Frampton and they got Josh Taylor. They're actually quite accomplished actually. In terms of, you know, getting the guys' belts and keeping it. They're pretty good. But other than that, like you said, they've been losing. They've been catching L's everywhere, you know. It's been quite shocking to see though, right?
Let me ask you something real quick then, right? See, do you think there's anything in this then? Like that when it comes to like some of the brothers over here that are fighting, do you think it is because like we just don't have like enough black trainers?
Yeah, that's true.
That are in the camp, because like when you look at America, there's so many examples of
black trainers everywhere.
Yeah. And we don't have that same kind of level of accessibility. We
do, but it's like, you know, you basically have to pick up yourself and go somewhere else and build. America is America, I think you can probably get more accessibility onto the world stage in America you can over here. In England, you know, you have to go for the British board, and then you have to be kind of connected to certain things. But you know, if you got a top fighter, they might, you know, someone might try and take him off you. They say, because look, for example, I don't know if you know this, right? If you sign with Frank Warren will tell you, I've got a trainer and I've got a manager for you. Right. He'll tell you, the fighter. And most fighters will, well, I want to sign with him because I want an opportunity. So the fighter will get rid of his trainer, the guy who built him from scratch, you know. That's what they do. But it's up to the fighter to stand up for himself, right? And Eddie Hearn as well. If you sign with Eddie Hearn, he'll say, what? What's his name again? What's that guy's name again? The one over in Essex. Tony Sims. Tony Sims will train you, and his son will manage you. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what happens. So the promoters in England have their own trainers and things, and thing in America, they're similar. They're like in America. You know, Don King, he had David Thingy Chiquetti. The Thingy Chiquetti, I can't remember his name, was Larry Holmes' trainer, and he had certain trainers like Aaron Snowell. These were Don King's trainers. If you sign with Don King, these were his guys. So that's what happens all around the place. You know what I mean? Have you noticed that Robert Garcia gets all the opportunities as well? He's connected as well. Robert Garcia, he's with Bob Arum. I think he works well with Bob Arum. He gets there. I think he's a Bob Arum guy, and I think he works with Al Heyman. But But I wouldn't say Al Heyman is a guy that you have to go with. I wouldn't say that. But this is what happens, man. So, you know, a lot of trainers have been shut out because they don't want to work with them. You know what I'm trying to say to you? You know, and you think about what you said it was point. I didn't really think about. You know, we're seeing the same bloody trainers in the corners, bloody time after time, bruv. Yeah, you know. So you know, all the other trainers are not really. You know what's going on? Why? Because the fighter for sign with them, you have to get rid of what the guy who built you. The guy who built you, you have to get rid of him. You know what I mean? There's a trainer. I don't even know his name's Don Davis. Check out his interview. Red October. Check out her channel, by the way. He trained Frank Bruno from the start.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, trained Frank Bruno from the start, and then obviously he went with them guys there. You see what I'm trying to tell you? That was it. And he gave him rhythm and everything. He had rhythm and everything. But them guys, when he got with them guys, they killed all that. They said, "Nah, we want you flat-footed."
Right.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that, and you see Don Davis, right? He's a black trainer. He's from Brixton, yeah. He's one of the guys who had Howard Eastman, who fought William Joppy. He trained big Sweet P, Big Derek Williams, Richard Williams, and most of the black fighters out in the from the 2000s and the 90s. He trained all of them. Dennis Andrews. He had Dennis Andrews.
What gym did he train them out of?
Miguel's.
Miguel's.
Yes, Don Davis. See, no one knows him.
Yeah. I didn't know you trained them out of Miguel's still. That's down the road from me.
Don Davis is one of the most give you some history. Don Davis, was the first black trainer to get his professional license. How about that? You know what I mean? And out of that comes his son, Richard Davis, I talked to. He's another one. And there's other top trainers, about that. He's trying to sort himself out as well. So there is these guys there, but to break through, you know, you have to be connected in a certain way. You see what I'm saying? But when he got there, it's like, you know, all these politics come in. You know, the fighter starts getting, you know, all these other people start coming in. You know, you build a fight from scratch, and all of a sudden you got where's all these people come from? Like Billy Joe Saunders. You know, where's all these people come from? Where did Ben Davis come from? You see what I'm trying to say to you? And people are pushing you out, you know. So that's what you're looking at is a lot of bullying, a lot of other people taking your guy, and a lot of pressure on the fighter, you know, to go with these top guys and to be with these guys. So that's, I think, what's happening. And because of that, consequently, you know, these fighters are not getting over. You know, they're not. The McGuigans do pretty well, but they take a lot out of money. You know how much money they take from you, bruv? You know how much? I mean, to break it down to you.
What were they taking, like 15% or something?
All right, let's start the percentages, right? Shane takes 10, right? Shane's Barry's brother is the manager. He takes 25, and Barry's the promoter, a co-promoter. He takes 25. How much is that? 50. 60. Was that 50? 60% of your money is gone. 60% of your money.
Yeah, that's peak.
Yeah, and then you have to pay for training.
Yeah,
that's why Josh Taylor cut out. He's poor, and that's why Frampton cut out. They're poor. They couldn't make no money. The bruv, that man taking more than half my money. I gotta pay taxes, and I'm doing all the hard lifting. There's murder in it. Now listen to this, Eddie. When you go with Eddie Hearn, this is what Eddie Hearn does to you. He says to you, after there's a rule in England boxing after I think it's 5 fights, you can manage yourself.
Yeah. I know about that. Yeah.
Eddie Hearn amps that. So now, when you're with Eddie Hearn, right, you manage yourself. That means you don't have to pay 25% to no one. So you only pay 10% to your trainer, no manager's fee, no manager's fee because you manage yourself, and you pay money to the promoter. So the promoter talks directly to you. But because the promoter talks directly to you, hence Kell Brook and Triple G happens. You see that one there? Because if you got a manager, Kell Brook shouldn't fight Triple G. If you're being managed. Eddie Hearn called Kell Brook in the dead of night. Said, hey, Papa, you said you want to fight Triple G. Oh, yeah, I want to fight Triple G. Yeah, Papa. Yeah, Daddy, I knock him out with my brownies. And you see what?
Chocolate brownies.
Yeah, but chocolate brownies. I knock him out, Papa. I knock him out. And then you see what happened? Yeah, because, you know, bruv, in the dead of night, Kell Brook said, yeah, I'll take it. All right, come tomorrow, Kell, and me sign it. So listen, Kell Brook signs it. Then Kell Brook calls Dominic and said, we've got a fight. And Dominic goes, who you fighting? Who you signing with? What? We're fighting Triple G. Because what are you mad, Kel? Who made you sign it? Nah, Eddie sorted it out. You know how much we're gonna get paid? We're gonna get paid 20 mil. You're gonna get 10. So what's 10% of 20 mil? Dominic goes, what? But Kel, he's a middleweight. Don't worry about it. I could take him. And you see, because the fighter always see the fighter. I train fighters, right? Let me tell you something about fighters. They never think they can lose a fight. Let me tell you something, bro. That's what people need to understand. No fighter ever thinks they can lose a fight. They might think a fight's tough, but they don't think they're gonna lose. So if you've got a crafty, slick talker like Eddie Hearn calling you directly without no manager, what do you think is gonna happen, innit? You see, you get brack up. That's why the man's them get brack up. You might make money with Eddie, but because you got rid of the manager, you ain't got a shrewd manager to look after you, see? And the manager is the one that guides your career to make sure he looks after you, you know? He's not going to put you in that. You ever see Rocky 3? When he goes, they were handpicked. What you mean? They were fixes? It goes, nah, man. They were good fighters, but they weren't killers. Like Mr. T was waiting for him, you know what I mean? That was a killer. So that's what you're seeing in boxing. You see it in professional boxing. That's why people like the amateurs, because the amateurs, you don't know who you're gonna face until you see them on the scales. You're like, whoa, and then you're in the ring. You're in the ring. It's like, brother, everything's blind up to. So when a man's had 100 of them fights against this guy can fight, even if you think he can't. Like Andy Ruiz, this guy's fought. But this is what I'm saying to you. So there's different levels in boxing, but even in the amateur levels, you can get caught used to the point scoring, like Billy Joe, because that's what Billy Joe was doing. He was point scoring against Canelo. He wasn't hitting with no power, nothing. He had none, and they knew that, and they said he just killed him, man. And Mark Tibbs wants a man to fight. That's the thing. Mark Tibbs is a trainer. He liked you standing there to fight, and it just didn't work, man. It weren't working. To be fair, Billy looked better, right? Because they thought they could surprise Canelo. That's why they wanted to get a bigger ring, but they came there to fight. They didn't come there to run. They came there to fight, and it didn't go their way. So
yeah, what do you think's next for Jay? What's he up to? Because I've been out the game for probably about a year and a half, but obviously, he parted ways with Yard.
Yeah.
So what's the Jay up to, lad? Like, is he gone into motivational speaking at conferences or something? Or
they're back together, man.
They're back together.
Yeah, back together.
Oh shit! What was they back together in the last fight then?
No. It was supposed to have a fight. It got cancelled. Now they got back together. It's on Annie Yard's got a YouTube channel. Check it out. Annie Yard, tape it out YouTube channel. And him and Tunde, they're back together. They're training, and I think they got a fight coming up. And I think James Cook's supposed to be involved. Yeah, that's basically they're back together. So that's kind of resolved with that, man. Yeah, man. They're back together. Because to be fair, Yard and him, they got chemistry. There was really and truly no one is gonna. How can you change him anything with Yard, innit? He likes Tunde, and that's their relationship. So they're gonna, Tunde's still the manager as well. So I think he's got another fight with Yard. I think he's got one more fight with him as well. And Tunde's done a good job in terms of managing him, but making money. But in terms of like top tier competition, that's another thing, bruv. What I'm saying?
So once again, do you think like this kind of plays into what you were saying before about moving people too quick? Do you think that they moved in too quick, or actually he took the fight at Kovalev and it just is what it is? He got found out.
All right, that's a good question. So it's just, I'll put it like this: when you're fighting someone like Kovalev, you need to fight a former world champion. It would help, a guy on his world down, a guy like a Pascal, Jean Pascal, right? Because Pascal, even though he's not a world contender, he's still a good top opposition. So and that will get you ready for the grit. You know what I'm saying? The grit you need to fight Sergio Kovalev, because Yard had enough grit, but he didn't have the finishing touches. And if you fight someone like a Pascal, he'll give you life and death. And when you have a life and death fight, and if you win, you'll realize, oh shit, I need to train even harder. You understand? Because that's what it does when you fight a close like that. He didn't have that. He didn't have that kind of thing. And consequently, which is worse, when you have that fight, you go all the way back down to the domestic, man. I mean, how can you have a fight for a world title and you go all the way back down to Commonwealth to fight some guy that you know what I mean? So I don't know how motivated they were against Linden, but Linden just did his thing. So
do you think like Jay as well? Like, was he even ready for that level? Because I mean, I'm not for or against the whole famous empty the tank, and man emptied the tank and he ended up getting starched out. Like, yeah, I don't even think it's a thing of is it good advice or is it not? Because people can criticize either way. If he didn't say empty the tank, then people would have said, "Oh, you had him in trouble. You should have stepped on him."
I think Tunde would have got criticized regardless, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I think people are looking the back, put it on him anyway, and that's what you're talking about in terms of black trainers. Not many out there, but the criticism comes with it, part and parcel. But when there's a lot of things. Tunde will tell you, in my opinion, Andy Yard is better than Sergio, better than Andre Ward. and better than certain things. So it feels like, I we're on that Mayweather endorsed him as Mayweather endorsed him as well, and the other as well. So
yeah. Tunde would 100% say that as well. I think he was on your panel one time, and he was Tunde will have you on this thing for like 2-3 hours trying to convince you.
Yeah.
Them ones there.
So Tunde is very good, yeah. So in a way they wanted it, but I think experience-wise, in terms of that could have been dead differently. They work closely with Frank, and Tunde is working closely, but really and truly, I would have liked, to fight. And I mentioned this. I remember when Andre Ward vacated the belts, and I remember I mentioned, "Are you going to fight for one of the vacant belts?" Which is beer belts were up there. And he goes, "Nah, we're not ready for that right now because you're not ready for that now. But when are you ready?" And this see, the thing is the prolonging, yeah. Like you give us one stage that he's Mayweather, this is the next Mayweather, right? But the other thing, you're not giving us the opponents, and eventually, time does everything. Now, he's only young, he's only a baby, bruv. It's not.
That's a good point. That's a good point because for enough to actually, before I say that, I just jumped in the chat. Someone said a good name for their podcast would be "Empty in the Tank." As a joker,
Be good,
he said, "Call the podcast Empty in the Tank."
Oh shit, bro! Hey, you know what? You could use a negative into a positive, and true that. You should call it that. You know that. And you know what? Hey, Mr. Man, you know what? Use it and roll with it, man. Use it. You know what I mean? Because that's a good one. That's a good one. But listen to this, right? No, so Tunde done a good job of selling the fight, marketing the fight, making expectations. But if he met the expectations, bruv, everything's good. Like my man Xavier Miller, he's in the corner with Dillian in his first big fight, and he's the cornerman with Dave Caldwell. And Dillian gets knocked out in this fight where they were clearly winning, and he gets knocked out. And in the rematch, they bring Harold Knight with Xavier, and they get through. But there's other things waiting. You know what I'm trying to say to you? So this, to me, I always feel. Listen to me. This is what I always feel. You have to bring an old wise vet in the corner. See, the thing is, listen to me. You have to invest money in the professional game wisely. You have to pay for top tier sparring. You have to have top tier trainers, teachers around you. You see, if I was in the corner, right, and I'm a professional fighter, see, like me and you, right, we go to the corner. I got my experience, you got your experience, right? What caps our experience is a top teacher. So let's bring in Don Davis to look over everything. You understand? So me and you are training, and we just go to Don. What do you think, Don? This, that, the other. See, you get a bit of wisdom there. You understand? And you get a bit more experience. You get more seasoning until eventually it's my turn to take over. But you can't go into these things. And I feel what's missing with a lot of these guys is they're not seasoning up. Like food, you let it season, let it simmer up on the cooker.
but wait, though, you mentioned something that was kind of key, because I almost forgot about this. Prior to that fight, a lot of people that I was talking to at the time was saying, "Yeah, but he ain't fought no one. He's like 20 and something, and he ain't fought no one. He ain't fought no one." And people were saying, "No, I'm not interested until we fight someone." And then there was kind of the Buatsi thing.
Yes.
But then when he did fight someone like Kovalev, as you said, people them are talking now like, "Oh, well, he was just a young pup, and he's, it was too early and this and that." So it's kind of like,
but they threw him in the wrong person though. They built their house on a thing of stone. Their whole thing was he's old. That was the wrong thing. Like, didn't they say that about Joe Joyce? He's old. But he's got more experience than you. But he's old. Come on, you to make someone old, you have to be fast. You have to be ready. You have to be ready to take over the fight. You have to be smart. And Yard, I don't know if you know, when Yard got to Moscow, certain things the Moscow, because remember, they're the B side. They're not the A side, right? Remember, I told you this already. So when you get to Moscow, You land and your luggage is not there until 3 days later. 3 days later, first off, yeah? So what clothes do you have? Your luggage comes, yeah? And then you go into the shower and it's cold water.
Oh, I heard about this all happened to them, man. There, I think I remember Tunde saying that. Yeah, no, not Tunde. Yard was saying that his luggage and that didn't turn up until 3 days later, and
and then you go there. But this is what I'm trying to say to you. But you're not prepared for these things. You understand? Because again, you're the B side. Now, same thing with Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo. Same thing. I get there. The ring was smaller. They said, "No, bruv, we need to make it bigger." Now, whether that made a difference doesn't matter. That was agreed on, and certain things that they were going through, but it didn't matter, right? It didn't matter. The result was the home time fighter Canelo, Kolovich, they won their fights, didn't they, against the UK fighter? So and they were both, and Yard at the time was undefeated, and so was Billy Joe Saunders. So what I'm trying to say to you is that in professional game, the guy who's supposed to win usually wins because the matchmakers have made it so. Because look, let me say something. When I'm matching fights in the amateurs, I can look at a guy and look at my guy and say, my guy could beat him. Just by matching up, I could match it. He should beat him if he does the right things. And that's how you do things in the pro. You do the same things in amateurs. There's some amateurs. I'll tell you what, one of the best matchmakers in amateur boxers is Finchley, Sean Murphy's wife. She's one of the best matchmakers in the country, bar none. She matches Finchley. Finchley have a winning record, Every time they go out, they can win all the time. You can see matching them by the ages and everything, and they put them in, and Finchley has a winning record. They win more or less all of their fights because they've matched them in such a way that they can win, and that's how the professional game is done. But there's sometimes that you get into a fight where you're not the A side, and this is what happens. So boxing is a lot of snakes and ladders. You go up, you come down, and stuff like that. See Roy Jones, you know why Roy Jones lost to Anton Tarver? It was the same thing. Roy Jones was supposed to fight Tarver, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't supposed to fight him, but when he did fight him, the first fight, it was a close fight, but Roy won the fight. He should have left that alone. Lennox Lewis wasn't supposed to fight Vitaly Klitschko, but he fought him and won. Yeah, smartly, Lennox didn't go back like Roy Jones, yeah? Because remember again, when you go against them guys there, you're at the top, right? So these guys have to work their way up, to be contenders, to get the shot at you. Now, when they get a shot at you, you have to say, well, boy, okay, I need to put all these things in place to make sure. I need to mess with their hotel. I need to mess with their water. I need to mess with this. I need to mess with that to make them uncomfortable to get them in. There was one, I talked to Crawford Ashley, and he said he was supposed to fight. He fought Virgil Hill for the WBA light heavyweight championship. They told him to come to the arena about 6, right? He didn't know the fight started at 10. So he got to the arena at 6. I think about 8 o'clock or whatever, or 7 o'clock. They told him to wrap his hands. They actually came in and said, start wrapping your hands up. He had his hands wrapped for like 3 hours, Bridgen. He was so pissed off, yeah. When he came into the fight, he couldn't be bothered. He said, I couldn't be bothered. He was mentally gone. Because he's like, nah, they made me wrap my hands up. And it's just, a fighter used to wrapping their hands up, get the pads on, and they're off and they fight, innit? Nah, they play mind games. So this is what they do at the top end of the sport. And you're seeing the same trainers time and time after again, and you get the same results. You know what we should do? We should do a tally on the league of how many trainers of the past year, what's their winning record, isn't it? against A class. I bet we were 0. I bet they're like 6-0 or something like that. Gallagher's losing how many fights does that guy lose regularly and still get a shot? He lost to get Natasha Jonas twice. She's lost, even though she looked like she might have won against. She done well against Taylor actually. And then
wait. Yeah, I needed. That's something. Have they fought yet? Jonas and Taylor.
Yeah, they fought.
All right.
That was a wicked fight.
Yeah, see, I've got to watch because they're both 2 times Olympic gold medalists.
Yeah, they fought in amateurs as well, bruv. You'll love that fight. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that.
That was a wicked fight. So listen. So in them things there, the matchups and stuff like. But Gallagher, the strategy was just a bit too late. It was too late, and he did the same thing with Scott Quigg versus Frampton. The strategy was too late. It was too late. And Gallagher in big fights, to be fair, he's it's not good. The records are not good, man. The records are not good. So a lot of English guys are winning titles, but they're not keeping them. They're not defending them in a manner of thing. You know what I mean? They're not. They're not made to have durability. They might get there, but they can't. So for some reason, they can't keep it. The only one who's keeping it and successfully, Anthony Joshua. But you see what happened to him the other day. See, this is why he lost. He wasn't supposed to fight Andy Ruiz. That's why he lost, you know.
Yeah, he was
You
supposed
see?
to fight Miller. He looked over him, innit? He just thought,
Yeah, but that Eddie
let him hold the belts. And I remember, you saying, nah, I don't like that. I don't like that. And I was like,
yeah,
he let him hold the belts, and he was like, nah, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Yeah, it is a problem. He's like, because he got to the point of complacency. Like, he's used to people holding these belts up. Bruv, let me see. When you win them belts, yeah, these things are precious, right? They're precious. First and foremost, not anyone can touch these belts. You have to earn to touch these belts here, right? If you want to take a picture with it, why are you taking a picture of my belt? You never won nothing. How am I going to let you take a picture of my belts then, right? That's the first thing, the pride. And Joshua was just lax the day they go. He let man visualize him being the champion. He let the guy sneak in and visualize it. He give the guy extra confidence that the guy never had. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, what happened in the fight? That's why the guy kept getting off. When the guy got off the canvas, Joshua thought I can just go in and stop him, you know? And he just listen, that thing was bad. That was one of the biggest shockers of that year, you know. Joshua getting rolled over. But you know, the thing is, Eddie, it was Eddie who picked that big blubber, Kung Fu Panda. It was Eddie. Eddie was the one who forced him to fight, you know.
Yeah.
Then
his hand was probably, do you know what I mean? Because you know what happened to Miller and all of that, and I guess they was scratching around for an opponent.
Came back to London. No, but you see, the thing is, come back to London, leave it. Because remember, you come to America, it ain't working. Oh, we can't come back. We need to fight someone, bruv. We need to fight someone durable. Eddie's an idiot, bruv. So listen. Dillian White didn't want to pay too much money. They should have got the weakest opponent in there. Let Joshua roll him over and go back home. And they go, oh, he fought a stinker. He didn't want the press. But listen, you did. If you should have fought in England, don't bother care what American think, because he had all that. Eddie didn't care about for Joshua. It was more about him and his own ego. And that's what the problem is right now. You're seeing Eddie putting fighters, and I think if you check Porky's corner, he's put a lot of fighters getting their health at risk. Kelbrook was the worst, man. I mean, listen to this, right? Kelbrook, he mashed up his orbital bone against Triple G in a fight. Should he have took that? He didn't need to take the Triple G fight. It was the welterweight champion, the IBF champion, right? Why is he going up to fight a middleweight? What's the point of that? For a payday that Eubank was supposed to fight. So he was fighting a fight that he's not supposed to fight. Golovkin doesn't care because he knows he's got the advantage. He's got all the weight, so he's cool. It was all onus on Kel, right? Yeah, it was a good fight, but Kel was never going to win that fight. But you know, Kel's brave, and look what happened to his eye. Then you feel sorry for Kel. You give him a home fight in Sheffield Wednesday in the stadium, which he should have had that from time. And then the other eye goes against Errol Spence. You see, it's long, man. It's long. So Eddie, you know, and look at it. And then I think Kelbrook wanted to do a fight on Sky with Crawford, and Eddie blocked him. Eddie blocked it on Sky. He said, nah, you're not getting it. And, you know, Eddie, that's how he treated him. You know, Kelbrook got treated like shit after he put his eye, and, you know, he says an interview out there, he'll tell you, I put my eye on the thing for Eddie, and look, that's how he treats me. I go, that's what I'm trying to tell you. They're not your friends. And Eddie and, you know, a lot of these promoters, they're just making mistake after mistake after mistake. But Eddie's the best promoter in the world. That's what people will tell you, though, isn't it? So yeah, so you know. But you know what? Going back to Canelo against the all-time greats, what do you think? Andre Ward, Nigel Benn, Gerald McClellan, Roy Jones, James Toney, Joe Calzaghe, Carl Froch. Go ahead.
I think Tony beats him. Yeah, I think Tony beats him. I think Jones beats him. Canelo. Actually, I would say Jones beats him, but it wouldn't surprise me if Canelo stops Jones, because he could catch him. No. Scrap that. Scrap that. No, scrap it. Because Canelo's flat-footed and Jones can move.
Yeah.
No.
James Toney and Canelo will be a good little one. It'll be a good little one. That'll be a good little one still. That'd be good. That'd be nice. I think that one could be a draw because they fight similar.
Yeah, because Tony's about torso, you know. He like Canelo does that Tony, you know, in the pocket.
They roll each other. A good fight though. That'd be a wicked fight though, isn't it? Because they're both flat-footed in front of each other.
Yeah.
I got Ben. I think when Ben fights him, I think Ben could knock him out, or he could knock Ben. But I can't see that fight going the distance at super middleweight.
I don't see that going the distance. I think it could go either way.
Yeah, that's what I
It
said.
really could go either way.
Yeah. What about Joe Calzaghe? Southpaw. Busy
Joe
southpaw.
Calzaghe. I think Canelo could probably get Calzaghe.
Nah.
No, actually, I'm not too sure. It's that's a tricky one.
If he can
It's a
catch,
tricky
if
one.
he can catch Joe, he could put him down. But Joe will get up and get further. But I think you know, it's all about what Joe's gonna do. If Joe tries to go in for the kill, then he can get put out. You know, he can get like knocked down a couple of times. See, but if he just stays outside with a southpaw, I think he's too fast for Canelo, and Canelo's too flat-footed. You know, he's too flat-footed. He can't counter Joe because Joe got longer arms and he's just fast. Too fast.
Canelo's just got that timing though, and the timing has got him out of
it'd be
trouble
good.
so many times.
Yeah, it'd be good. It'd be good. I think Joe will get caught. He'll get put down, but I think Joe will eke it out on points though.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. That's just one I would have to just watch and see what happens.
Yeah. What about Froch?
Froch. Froch is
but
big, man. Like I think you know, Froch that's like David and Goliath.
Nah, bro, he could do it, you know. Because look, Carl Froch, I see him with Pascal, him and Pascal, the wicked fight. See, stylistically, he can go with him, man. Have you seen that fight with Pascal?
Yeah.
Pascal's about the same height as Canelo, and it was wicked because Carl likes to go in. Carl likes to try and knock people out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So in that one, I think Canelo will probably get Froch in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. You know.
Boy, the man is stealing. Oh, you see George Groves put him down though. That's why, yeah.
It's not just that. It's just that Canelo. I just think he's got a little bit more. Like he's just got like more tools in his arsenal, and the way that he just gets out of trouble with timing.
Yeah.
I think he. I'm not saying like he's gonna blow him out. I'm just saying that in a one-off fight, he probably like if they had 10 fights, it might be five apiece or something.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that if they were to fight, I'd favor Canelo just because of what I've already seen from him.
Okay.
I've seen him lose fights. I've seen him losing fights, and he still wins because he's timed the dude, or you know, I mean, even in against Billy Joe, he was actually doing all right, you know, in the middle parts of the rounds, he was doing all right. He got a little bit cocky and a bit, you know, he was feeling himself. He tried to do the little Roy Jones thing there, and he found out differently. But Canelo was patient. So yeah, it's his patience and the timing. Yeah.
What about Gerald McClellan?
Gerald McClellan. Yeah, I like Canelo in that as well.
Against Gerald McClellan, the G-man.
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, I like Canelo in that as well, you know. I just can't get over the fact that, like, Canelo, and the thing is, I'm not a Canelo fan. Like, I'm Team Crawford. But yeah, he just comes through. And I just think that, like, Canelo, he can go 10 rounds and he'll just catch you. And that's it.
Have you seen the Gerald McClellan? Do you know what I'm talking about? The G-man, the man who's knocking out Julian Jackson and knocking man left, right. The man, he beat Roy Jones in the amateurs, you know.
Yeah. But that's the thing about Julian Jackson as well, though. Back in the day, like Julian Jackson was like the Mike Tyson when he was middleweight.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. But Gerald McClellan was worse than him. This is what I'm saying. So you know, Canelo, and you see him as a sick boxer, you know. I had him blasting at my man, you know. I had him like, you know, like I had Gerald McClellan blasting him like, you know, like Tommy Hearns when he fought Roberto Duran.
Yeah.
I had Gerald McClellan doing that to him, you know, because I just don't see how he's longer, he's taller, and he's got good boxing skills, and he hits like a ton of bricks. He's just a violent person. It's just all wrong for Canelo. Like even his jab to the body, and then it's just Canelo's going to be touched up hard. You know what I mean? I know Nigel Benn and that Nigel Benn, but that fight that he was just trying to knock Nigel Benn, he showed no respect. But if you let him, let him box you, and it's like, guys, I tell you, it wouldn't be. What about Michael Nunn? You see Michael Nunn versus Thingy Man. What do you think?
Yeah, Michael was second to Nunn. I like Nunn in that.
Like Nunn in that one as well.
Yeah, I like Nunn. But McClellan, I remember watching, just touching on McClellan just real quick.
Yeah.
I remember watching him and Ben fight back in I don't know, it's the 90s.
96.
Yeah, and I remember watching. I was a youth.
Yeah, I
And
remember.
you know when you're a youth and your pops and these brethrens are watching the fight, and I'm just there trying to watch, and it's like, go to bed. I want to see what you man are watching. And I don't really know what's going on, but I remember that was a sad fight, man.
Well, the way it ended is bad. I mean, after that, they stopped boxing on British TV.
Yeah.
That was 96. They stopped boxing on British because it was big news. But after that, it was that brutal. It was asking people to stop boxing, and that's when I think they changed over into Sky. So but it wasn't the same. The viewership and everything wasn't the same. After a while. It wasn't the same. I think that's where Steve Collins made a big splash on Sky. He didn't really get that big push on normal terrestrial TV. Steve Collins versus Canelo Alvarez.
Steve Collins.
Yeah, how you see him?
Steve Collins. I think Canelo will get him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Steve. I mean, all right, Collins beat Ben twice. I don't really. I think Canelo will get him. I don't really see that being too, He lost to Collins lost to McClellan.
Collins lost to Gerald McClellan? Nah, he didn't fight him.
I'm sure he fought Gerald McClellan.
He fought Mike McCallum, and he fought,
Oh, sorry. Yes, yeah.
He fought Thingy. What's it? Reggie Johnson. Reggie Johnson brack him up.
Yeah. Reggie Johnson. Hey, hey, that's my guy. Southpaw Reggie.
Yeah, Reggie was bad, but Reggie is bad.
Yeah,
but Reggie's a middleweight though. Reggie.
Yeah.
I don't think Reggie. He might have fought a super middleweight, but Reggie was a bad local middleweight. But
yeah, he's underrated.
Yeah, no, he's very.
I
good.
think he's underrated.
But Roy Jones beat him, so it's what it is. But Mike McCallum never fought at super middleweight. He fought light, middle, and then he went to light heavy. So it's a freeweight. He didn't fight at super middle. Unfortunately, I don't know why that was, but Mike McCallum. I would have put Mike McCallum in there, but he's a middleweight and light middleweight and light heavyweight champion. Mike McCallum. I would have put Mike McCallum and Canelo. It wouldn't be. I'd say it wouldn't be funny for Canelo. Let's tell you that for now. But you know what I mean. But Canelo. What I'm saying in the super middleweight division, he hasn't had a long history. It started in I believe in 1989, 1988 around there, right? And in the short history, it's got Canelo's up there because you see the matchups. I mentioned Canelo can roll. You've already mentioned Canelo can roll. All right, let's put Canelo. Let's put Canelo against Andre Ward to cap it up. How do you see that fight going?
Ooh, Andre Ward. Okay. I think. Right. Let me tell you this. That could go either way. But
yes, that's why I see it.
Do you know, I can't answer that, man. I can't answer it.
But you see, the thing is, Andre Ward is considered the best number one, numero uno, super middleweight, right, of all time, right? So if you're saying Canelo could roll up with him, isn't that saying that Canelo? This is why I said Canelo is going to be the greatest super middleweight of all of them. Because if when you match them up against Canelo against all of them, he rolls in. He's not out of place against all the top middleweights. So that's why I made this video, because it just said to my mind, it's like he's already there. Like he's gonna be. Froch could have been undisputed. By the way, Joe Calzaghe was the first guy to have every single belt in the super middleweight. He had WBC, WBA, WBO, IBF. He had all the belts in the video, but he never held them at one time. But Froch could have did that. He could have had all the belts at one time, right? He could have fought Sakio Bika, but he didn't want to. He didn't want to fight Sakio Bika. So, it never happened. But Canelo, when we mentioned Canelo against Froch and everyone, you're trying to say, I think Canelo could beat him. And you see, that just shows you that Canelo can roll. It's not like out of place, but against someone like Roy Jones, Michael Nunn, James Toney, we're like, they're like, you know what I mean? But they're good fights, though. They're good fights. Canelo will be in the fights, though. I just don't like the Gerald McClellan one and the Michael Nunn one. I just don't like them ones there. Them ones there. Yeah. I think the Roy Jones one is the worst to me. Roy Jones one.
Yeah,
and
Yeah, Hearns was in that division as well. He won
Mhm.
the belt. He won the belt in that division as well, right? And you know, people don't talk about Hearns, yeah, but Hearns against Canelo, still Canelo will be all right though. Cause I see Canelo got head movement, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? But
yeah.
he'll be all right in there. So you know, this shows you how Canelo is not really out of his depth.
No,
against
no,
the top tier.
I agree with you. Like Canelo, I think Canelo's already up there. Like, in
Yeah.
terms of, you know, making his mark. Yeah, he can roll. Like, he's not.
Hmm.
Canelo is not just some guy. Like, he can roll with these guys. Do you know what I mean? And put
Yeah.
some of them and beat them.
Yes.
It's just that a lot of those fights that you mentioned are just going to be really, really good fights that you're just going to need to see, because you're just not going to know until it happens.
Yeah. So finally, Caleb Plant, Canelo Alvarez. What do you think?
Yeah. Canelo beats Caleb Plant, man. He beats him. Yeah.
You see, Caleb Plant, man. People say he's like Vanilla Ice. He's like Takashi Takashi 6'9", whatever. He's like them guys. They're trying to be someone he's not, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah, you heard. I got. Let me play some. I got some. If I got audio, let me play. I've got him. Let me play the audio. So this is Caleb Plant. The interview was yesterday. Let me play it. Is it here? No, it's not that one. Hold on. Let me see. It's this one here. Let me play this. Look. There you go. Play this.
Right. I know there's always more to accomplish, but certainly beating Canelo Alvarez at the top of the mountain. I mean, at that point, you're now then number one pound for pounds. You're then a global superstar. You have all 4 belts. I mean, that's just crazy to think about, no?
Yeah, definitely. You know, especially coming from where I come from, you know, just a little, just a little town in Tennessee. You know, there's not even a boxing community there. When I first started boxing, no one else boxed. There were no gyms where I'm from. It was just something that my dad did when he was younger, and he wanted to introduce me to that and give me something to do instead of running around getting in trouble with my buddies. And now I'm a world champion. And so for me to be in a fight like this, I'm not just happy to be here, but, you know, it's a long ways from where I'm from. And but I'm still locked in and I'm still focused.
How quickly do you think a deal can be closed here? Eddie Hearn, who, you know, was promoting Canelo the last 2 fights, that promotional deal is now expired. He said he was going to try to reach out to your team this week and see what happens. Obviously, we have some complications, right? You're a PBC fighter. You fight on Fox always, and Canelo's been fighting on DAZN. If it comes down to it, would you fight on DAZN, or are you PBC and Fox or bust?
I mean, you know, look, I have a great team around me. I got a great manager, k.o.s. I feel like, you know, I'm not the only one who feels like he's the best at what he does. But as far as my advisor and Al Heyman, you know, they haven't made a mistake yet. They've done great with me in my career. And so I trust them to make the right call. And whatever that is, I'll follow their lead. And, you know, but I want that fight and I want to make it happen. And they do too. So, you know, I trust them, and I'm sure that we can make it work.
There you go. In his own words.
Yeah, I like. That's funny what you say that he's like the Vanilla Ice, but yeah, I like what I see from Plant, but I just don't think he's developed enough to beat Canelo.
Nah. Well, he's talking hell of, like I said, his trainer, his manager, like Al Heyman hasn't made the wrong move. So if Al Heyman tells him that they should take that fight, then that's what it is. This is what I try to tell you. So you pay a manager. A manager actually guides. It's almost like a ship, yeah, without a rudder. You understand? So Tunde, he steers Andy Yard's career, and you know, Al Heyman steers Caleb Plant. So you know, if you're the manager, why would you steer your fighter in to lose? It don't make no sense for you, innit?
Mm.
So you know, Al Heyman will sit back there and say, "Well, I don't know if you could." First, I have to think, can I win him? Then you have to look about how much money we're gonna make, because remember, it's prize fighting, right? So you know, even if you lose, you know, you're still gonna make a lot of money, and you can still come back and win a title. So it's a gamble, you know what I mean? And it's for all the belts in your division. So you know, he hasn't really impeded. Canelo Plant hasn't really got nowhere else to go, in my opinion. What are you gonna do? You're gonna sit there with your one belt. And, you know, Canelo's over there. People, that's what the fight fans want to see. And they're going to keep riding him. As you can see, Canelo Plant is going to get ride until he makes that fight. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to be able to sleep in his bed because people are knocking on his door. Are you going to fight him? Are you gonna fight him? You gotta fight him now. He called you out, right? Every day now he's on it. You know, before he won his world title. You know, he walks around in Virginia and he's the big man in it. He just wins his belt, and he's had that belt for a while. But now, man is actually walking up to him like, "Are you gonna fight Canelo? When you gonna fight Canelo?"
Yeah, well, who do you think can topple Canelo at whatever division?
I think that, let's look at it. Yeah, the Charlo brothers and maybe I thought Benavidez, but I don't think Benavidez could beat him. I think the Charlo brothers have a shot. You know what I mean? Because they're very good boxers. Both of them brothers could probably do a shot. And yeah, I think I'll go with the Charlo brothers, man. I don't know if they could win, but they definitely bring something different to the table.
Which one? Because Mel's at 47, innit? And then you've got Mal.
They look the same, yeah. One's at 160, 150. But I think they're doing that purposely to say this is how they this. Both of them are running the division, you know. Triple G, bruv, he's got competition in there, and he ain't even looking at the Charlo brothers. You know what I'm saying? And then I think one of the brothers one belt away from being undisputed. One belt away from being undisputed. Al Heyman's done an outstanding job. But you see the rest of the boxing don't even care. Have you noticed no one's even talking about the Charlo brothers? Like, you got two brothers, yeah, in boxing, and then they got two divisions, yeah, and like no one's talking about them. Like, it's like they don't even like Carissa Shields. She's like, what was it, 2-time undisputed champion, and no one even knows. No one even cares in boxing. It's like we're just gonna act like they're not there because they're not with Eddie Hearn and they're not with Bob Arum or Frank Warren, so we're gonna act like they're not there. If anything, it's what you call a blackout. You know?
Yeah.
So I'll go with the Charlo brothers if you ask me.
Okay, so yeah, that's Mal Charlo in that respect. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know. That's just one that I just have to see it. Last fight I saw Mal Charlo at 60 was against the Russian.
Yeah. He blew him out, man.
His name.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The one that everyone was talking about was he gave Triple G hell, innit? He gave Triple G hell. And my man went in there and blasted him out, man. I can't remember his name though, but everyone was talking about he's nice.
His name, man.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Because I was like, yo, who's this dude? Oh, he gave Triple G a hard fight. You gotta be someone. My man went in there and dusted him out, man. Triple G needs to be done. See, Triple G, the thing is, if you go in there and get rid of Triple G or Canelo, you know you can do it. But these guys are being managed by Tom Loeffler, and they're just staying away from the Charlos. You know what I mean? But you see what I would do, and and this is what Boo going back to Boo Andrade. Instead of going to the man's press conference here, jump into his division, knock out the #1 contender for that belt, and force yourself into that position, innit? You know what I mean? You force yourself into that. I think people. You know, when you take a voluntary, you kind of get like, because, Billy Joe Saunders was a voluntary, right? When you're voluntary, you can make a bit more money. But if you make yourself a mandatory, you get less money. But they force the belt holders will force you to fight them. You know what I mean? That's what you got to do sometimes, force yourself. But then I've been saying that there's a guy called Joshua Lushkin from England. He waited 3 years to get his title shot, and he never got his title shot. They threw him out. They put other people in front, Eric Morales and Danny Garcia, and he never got his title shot. And then they made him fight Lucas Matisse, and then eventually he lost. So he waited 3 years. You know what I'm saying? So you could be the #1 contender, but if the promoters are powerful, they can block you out. Yeah. So boxing is very, very, very evil. Like at certain points, it's
as you say, Mar was a good. I think that's the most competitive.
Yeah. They both look the same. They're just doing it purposely to stay away from the weight classes, though, so they don't fight each other. They made a pact amongst each other. I go 154, you go 160, but they're basically the same. They're basically the same body type. It's just that one just chooses to go out like, man, okay, I'll make the sacrifice. I'll just go down to thing. They don't want to go up to 168. They're gonna stay around these weights, but the other brother can move up to 60. Not a problem. He could do that, but he doesn't want to. He wants to stay at 154. I think the other brother at 154 is savage, though. He's savage. The one at 60 is bad as well.
Yeah, Jamel.
Yeah. But sometimes I can't pay them apart because when I think one's gonna box and the other one, they surprise me though. They keep surprising me still.
Yeah, I prefer the older brother to the younger one. To be honest.
The one by a couple of months, the one by a couple of seconds. They're twins, bro. You make me laugh. They're twins, bro.
That's how I separate them. That's how I separate the twins.
Okay.
See the older one.
Yeah, bro.
Jamal. Otherwise, okay, you could just say Jamal then. Jamal Charlo.
Jamal. Yeah, they good. Yeah, I remember one woman told me about them from years. Yeah, she goes, "Oh, them brothers gonna be good." I said, "Man, them brothers are whack. They talk too much, but bruh, they quietly rolled up in boxing. But for whatever reason, they're not making that much noise in boxing. I don't know, because it's not because they're not with the loud promoters, you know. Because Al Heyman, he's not a loud promoter. He don't talk. You know what I mean?
You don't see Al Heyman.
No, you don't. So yeah, a lot of the time, in terms of the promotion, these guys are doing all the talking, yeah. But you know, they're not. You know, they should be bigger names than what they are. But I've been saying that, you know, if they was with Mayweather, I think they'd get a bigger name. Talk about Mayweather. We're gonna finish it on Mayweather. Mayweather and my man took Mayweather's hat and them thing there. What's your take of that thing?
Well, what do you mean he took his hat? What happened?
Do you see that?
No,
Logan Paul and Mayweather had a press conference, and Jake Paul arguing Mayweather, and he took his hat. It was all over the net.
What? How did he take his hat? What's the context? Was they at a press conference and he just rolled up a man and took his hat off his dome piece?
You haven't seen it, yeah, man. You haven't seen it.
No, I haven't.
Bro, you probably was
around.
Yeah,
I'm out. Trust me, I'm a good year and a half out of date, you know. So
he took man's hat. He took man's hat, bro. Literally.
Okay.
Maybe was arguing with him, and he took man's hat. Let me find it for you.
What was the argument? Was it like hostile? Was it just
Mayweather was fighting Logan Paul, right? So he's fighting his older brother, and Logan Paul was chatting his rubbish, saying Mayweather can't read, and you're 51 and all because you beat your baby mother up and them thing there. He went there and that. Mayweather goes, well, boy, I'm gonna beat you up for China because Logan Paul went to China and it's called Suicide Woods, and he went there and he was taking the mick out of dead bodies. So them two was just slanging matches. After the press conference, right? They were on stage. Jake Paul started arguing Mayweather. I can fight Mayweather. Look, if you want to fight me, I'll take both you brothers on the same day. So what happened now? My man started arguing with my man. My man took his hat, bro. All right, I can show you now, innit? Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. I'm surprised. Yeah, you haven't seen nothing, bro. You're way out.
I haven't seen. Yeah, I'm way.
You saw the Billy Joe Saunders thing.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, so it's a bit, you know.
You ain't that bad. You ain't that bad.
It's bad, but it's yeah.
You ain't that bad. Ain't that bad. Ain't that bad. All right, let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find the thing. All right, so you're seeing clips. There we go. Here we go.
I'm going to fight both in the same night. Plus and C. Now I get that isn't too personal at all.
So let's see this now.
Continue to say that the Paul brothers aren't real fighters, and we all know how Jake feels about the sport of boxing.
Absolutely easy. You got two fake fighters. Fake fighters, who real fighters? You got two fake fighters. Hey, the only thing that's fake on this stage is Floyd's hairline. Okay, yes, all right. The only thing that's fake on this stage is Floyd's fucking hairline.
Jake thinks he's one of the best boxers out there, so he got a little upset with this. This is actually when he decided to steal Floyd's hat. In Logan's new YouTube video, you could hear Jake whisper, "I'm gonna take his hat." But once again, those aren't very personal attacks against the Pauls. It's just your typical trash talk. But then Floyd decided to bring up Logan Paul's dark past. I think we all know what I'm talking about here. Although Logan has matured since then, it still bothers him whenever someone brings it up. So then Logan started going at Floyd's past with his wife. And we also don't want to get into that, as we would definitely get demonetized. But let's just say it's not a good look for Floyd.
I know what he did to the country of Japan. I know what he did to Japan. So guess what? You have to pay for what you did to Japan.
Is this you trying to rally an entire country around you?
So,
well, I know what you did to your wife.
I just realized, I might get in trouble by YouTube, so let me just loud it. Let me just loud it, bro. Yeah, you get the idea. What's that, Mad Chad? 1 minute, Mad Chad. Let me just wrap up with one of them days. So yeah, that's kind of the situation. And he took his hat, man. And Mayweather looked crazy. He looked like a vampire. Made Mayweather look like an idiot, really, really badly, man.
I know you know about the psychological games when it comes to this. These types of pre and post fights, and that kind of thing. So if you're saying that, like, what do you think then? really and truly, I need to see it because I need to see what the context is and just like you know what the body language, like how man really took it. Like, was it?
Nah, he put him up.
Took it as a disrespect.
Yeah, disrespect for real. Yeah, he dissed him. He's talking to him, and Mayweather was saying, "Sign a contract. I'll beat both you brothers the same day." He goes, "Yeah, really?" And then Mayweather was saying, "Man, just goes, I took your hat," and he goes, "I took your hat." He just took it off his head. And then he tried to run away. Mayweather went after him, tried to get his head back.
wait. Man tried to run away like a little girl.
Yeah. And then Mayweather
was running after him.
Yeah. And then Mayweather grabbed him up. The security grabbed him.
And you're putting cases on, man. Wait.
Yeah, they give him a couple of punches and he said, "I still got your hat." He didn't care. He wasn't giving him the hat for nothing. Then he went and got a tattoo of I got your hat on his leg. And he's got selling the hat on eBay. Real talk, bro.
You know what? It's yeah. I mean, a lot of these kind of antics and stuff.
Look at this. There you go. That's what he took off Floyd's hat.
Oh, yeah. Wait, is that Floyd?
Yeah, you see, he got Floyd looking like the devil. You know what I'm saying? That's when he took his hat off his head.
Floyd is looking. Yeah, he looks like he's aged 10 years in like.
Because he was so angry trying to get his hat back. And look at this. Look at that. Man's got that's the tattoo there. Got your hat when he took his hat off his head.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he looked like he was trying to hide something there, though. He looked like he's kind of grey and.
No, he didn't want. He's like most men. When you roll up, you don't let man taking your hat off your head. That's Floyd. That was when they were talking. So this is before he took his hat off his head. You know what I mean? And look at this. This is eBay, right? This is eBay.
Got your hat.
Yeah, selling the hat. So look at that. He's already spent on his website selling. I got your hat. Selling it.
Yeah.
We're selling the hats.
Well, all these type of things, they sell fights in it, and that's what Floyd's about. That's why he's doing this.
Yeah, but he wasn't even fighting that brother. He's fighting that. He wasn't even fighting him. That's the younger brother.
It's not even right. That's
he's fighting.
That's not even Logan Paul, right?
It wasn't even. It was the younger brother who did that to him.
But it's all part of the sales pitch, you know what I mean? Whether it's his younger brother, his mother, or father, you get me? It's all part of the same. Yeah. So it will sell, man. But man.
I reckon Floyd's been training. He's been training hard. Like I reckon he's gonna do him dirty.
Well, yeah, I mean, there are some unknowns in this, but I mean, this should just be a sparring match for Floyd. But you never know. He's got a bit older, and
he look old in that picture, innit? Like a zombie.
Yeah, he did look old, man.
You could believe that was him, right? Innit? When I say
that, looking like his dad though.
Yeah, but this is but that's how much stress he was. The man took his hat off his head and he tried to
he said that's how stressful he was.
Yeah, he was stressed trying to get his hat back. Brother, I've had some, you know what I'm talking about. Someone's done that. When I was younger, someone did it to me and I wanted to kill them as well. I was like, bro, you taking my hat off my head for? Bruv, you know what I mean? You know, look, Floyd's eyes are red like the devil. He's looking to do him. You know what I mean? It's like, and then when he got to him, Floyd gave him a couple of punches, and I think security gave him a couple. But he didn't. But the guy was still saying, "I got your hat." He didn't care. He was still talking reckless as well.
Some schoolyard shit, man.
Yeah, but he's a little boy, and he's only 23. Floyd's like 40, 46.
Schoolyard shit, but it sells. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. Let me check to mad chat.
But
go on.
I was gonna say I got to cut out still, but am I listening still?
Okay, then. Hey, it was good catching up with you. We got the weekend fights to coming up, so we'll probably catch up in the weekend or something.
Yeah, for real, man. Come through on the Discord, man, so we can.
I'm always there. I check it all the time. I check it. I check it to see what's going on, but I just don't. In terms of I remember I came on one of the streams. You were doing a live thing one time. I was I jumped in. I was just listening. Yeah, I was there one time. I was listening.
I can't even remember. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that was a while ago. Yeah. I need to try and get back on this and get up to date, man, so I can, spar with you and trade some opinions back and forth and that. You get me? So
yeah, definitely.
All right, brother.
All right, nice one. One of them, yeah. You take care. Hey, you still got YouTube channel? You got YouTube channel?
Yeah. One of them ones boxing.
Yeah, so people go sub over there, man. Peoples, yeah.
Done know the thing.
All right, man. Nice one. Take care, man.
Big up.
Yeah, man. Take care. Mad Chad Boxing. What's going on?
Hey, EJ Boxing Live. How you doing today, sir?
I'm all right, man. I know that you're added fan of Marvin Hagler. You know what I mean? And the thing is, I remember when Hagler died. I ain't really talk about it. To me, his legacy is so apparent of how boxers should conduct themselves. trying to fight the best, conduct themselves a certain way. And you see some of the antics of some of these boxers these days. It's a thing. But I think Canelo, in my ways, Canelo is trying to get credibility and trying to do something like that, undisputed and defending the belts. But but eventually you're gonna have to fight some real live dogs. It's okay beating up these UK guys, right? And that's fine. But you're gonna have to fight some real lion dogs. And the Charlo brothers are there, Benavides are there. So if you could beat some of them guys, and defend the undisputed belts, he'll get all the credit, even more credit than he's even done. You know what I mean? So go ahead.
You're so correct on that. But yeah, Hagler epitomizes just the hard work, being prepared, taking the short change to get your chance to be, yourself in situations to win. Hagler was one of my favorites of all time, my personal favorite fighter of all time, not the most skilled, but definitely one of the most respected through all, ranks of boxing, through all over the world. Everybody knew who Hagler was. And thank you for bringing him up, EJ. That was nice of you. No. EJ, I had a quick question, sir. Whereabouts on the earth are you? You have the hardest accent to understand than anybody I really know. Like you have a very, very deep accent.
No, where are you from? Are you from Boston? You sound like you're from Boston, right?
From Maine. Yeah, Portland, Maine. Right up from Boston.
Oh, okay. Portland, Maine. Okay. All right. I'm from London, Northwest London.
Oh, you got because you got the dirtiest London voice out of all of them. I mean, because I'm a big fan of the English. I got English and Irish in me, but big British invasion. Heard all the Rolling Stone interviews and Beatles, and know some English people. You got the freaking craziest accent out of all of them. What really? Part of are you? Oh, absolutely.
I said no. People in Northwest London. They sound similar to me. Like you have like the classic posh accent, right? And then you have a street accent, and I can, depending on who's around, I can mix.
Are you Rastafarian?
Nah, man, I ain't no Rastafarian. No, man, I ain't no Rastafarian. Nah, man, I ain't no Rastafarian, bro. Nah,
right, because that's what I mean. You kind of sound like you're from Jamaica, but kind of London and maybe Australia.
Nah, man, I was born in London, but no, my parents are from Jamaica. But like, I've never been to Jamaica, but my parents are from there still. But maybe you can hear something in there. But you remember again, London accent is a mixture of quite a few where I'm from, in it. Like, so it has a bit of West Indian in it, London in it, and there's a bit of both. But mainly just London twang. It's London accent. But like I said, my accent would be normally known as common English language. It wouldn't be the classic, the Sherlock Holmes one.
Right. Right, EJ. Good shit though. But like you put that up there. Yeah, Canelo has all this opportunity. He's still not that old of a man. He still looks rather sharp. And like you say, if he can go on to beat those fighters that you just mentioned, I mean, he's going to be ranked really, really up there because, history is going to look back at this kid saying, look at all these fighters that weren't active. They're not going to look at Yildirim or Smith or see who these fighters were. They're just going to see the wins. And, and he's going to go down. And if he keeps going, God willing, everybody's, life ain't guaranteed to nobody who no matter where you are, EJ. But if he keeps trending the way he's going, wow, you're absolutely you're 110% correct.
But let me ask you a question. What did you think about the Billy Joe Saunders? About how he conducted himself and what he did in the fight? Do you believe he quit? I believe people in America are more honest than they are in the UK. The UK media was trying to make out like he was winning the fight and he either got caught with a punch. They're not really too honest. I feel like in America, the sports writers are saying rubbish, but I believe that a lot of Americans are saying the truth that he quit. What do you think?
But there are a lot of people saying that, but I watched the fight. I thought he was kind of doing. He kind of did more than what I thought he would do because I thought he won 3 rounds. I had it 5-3 when it was stopped. Canelo was definitely going to come on, make adjustments, and you could see Billy Joe kind of leaning in with his head. Mm-hmm. I'm like, and he got caught. I don't know if it was a cheat. I mean a quit because he got freaking hit hard. And even then, Canelo put his arms up. Canelo normally ain't that cocky of a fighter. Like he raised his arm up, like a shark. I'm coming to get you. And I is done, and I don't know if they've released everything about it, but I think he definitely had something fucked up in his face pretty bad, and I'm surprised he didn't go down with that shot. So because that was a hellacious shot he took. I mean, Canelo hits like a truck, and I believe he got his face pretty fucked up. I'm surprised he didn't go right down.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. He did get his face messed up. I mean, by this picture here, what's this picture here? I mean, but the thing is, we've seen worse. And look, the guy.
Yeah.
Look at the guy's got his thumb on that's Mark Tibbs, right? I think that's Mark Tibbs. He's got his hand on his eye. You know what I'm trying to say? So, and you see underneath and that I think he's got the iron swelling on his cheekbone, but he's forcing when he tried to pull his eye open, he's forcing it shut. He doesn't want to open it. So it's like he wants out of there. That's what, to me, I was like, he wants out of there. I've seen Rafael Marquez, I've seen Fernando Vargas.
Oh, absolutely. I've seen disfigurations with the fight going on and on. That, and what hurts the most is what he said prior to the fight about Dubois. If he didn't say any of that shit, it would have definitely not been such a big deal. But the kid came back, Karma came back and got him, EJ, big time. And another thing that I saw there is what a fair weather friend Fury is. He was just gone right out of Dodge. He wasn't around him or nothing. I think BJ Saunders' dad hopped the gate, and Fury just stood there like he was fucking a big fucking clown. I mean, if I'm somewheres with my friend, and my friend's fighting in the fucking ring, and I'm with my friend's dad, and my friend's dad jumps a fucking fence to go help his son, I'm jumping the fence with him. I don't care if I'm whoever the fuck I am. Fury showed me that he's a fucking fraud.
But listen, let's get it right, yeah? If I'm with my friend's dad and he jumps the barrier, I'm not following him. Now, this is just me. My friend's dad.
Oh, come on, EJ. At a fight in that situation, you are.
No, listen. Now, are you talking about, okay, if I know someone in the ring, if I know someone in the ring and it's my family and we're there, fine. But what he did was illegal, right? So when he jumped in there, but see, the thing is, what I'm trying to say to you is that Fury talks all this stuff. He says, I'm the fighting man. He says another thing, right? And, we're fighting people, we're travelers. So when the dad did that, the dad never told no one. He just went over. The dad attacked the security guard. That's what I saw. And he got thrown in his back. Now, when that whole thing went down, Fury could have pushed past the thing and said, hey, that's my guy's dad.
Immediately you do that, EJ. Immediately, because that's your elder. That dude's an elder too, I believe.
Yeah, but Fury coming into there, he had a black eye, right? He had a black eye, and he knows, if he's in that stuff, he's going to be the first person on TV they go for. If anything, lawsuit. Because remember, in America, they can sue you over anything, and he lives in America. The first one they're going to go through, they're going to blame you. So he's like,
if you're a fighter, if you're a true fighter, you don't think that. You immediately going to help your person that you're with watching the fight of your brother in the ring fighting, and that's your dad. You're all the gypsies, and you're not going to help the elder. That showed me a big fraud. I don't care about lawyers, about anything. That just showed me his true heart.
Well, you know what? The thing is, I agree with you because he says all that stuff. That's why. Now, me personally, if I see stuff like that and I see my friends that, what are you doing? What? That's just me. I'm like, yo, because I to be honest with you, I'm not really into like doing stuff against the law. I'm a black guy, and I know it don't really go my way, so I ain't gonna do that. I ain't Caucasian, so I'm there. But if you're from that thing, maybe you get away with that stuff. Maybe you get away. But what I'm trying to say to you is that Fury talks all that smoke. And that's why he should do something because he says all that stuff. So that's why.
And everybody knows him too. If he could have, intervened in a sense, not going in there throwing punches, he could have been hopped the gate and went, whoa, whoa, whoa. And everybody would have said, hey, that's Fury. I'm just saying he did nothing. Yeah, he didn't hop. That just showed me something there because they are a tight-knit group. They spent the whole pre-camp together. He was with them in all the kind of interviews, and just the kind of dodge when the fire was hitting the fan. The old man's, you're with the old man. You're riding or dying if he's right, wrong, or indifferent. You're with him and then sort it out after. And he could have had a great opportunity to be a peacemaker. And I think he dropped the ball and he showed me his true colors. He had his fancy colored suit on. I mean, and then he just stuck right. I mean, it was embarrassing to me, and no one even talked about that. And I thought that stood out to me big time.
Nah, you're right. In England, a lot of people talked about it in England. Dillian White called him out. said, I think you're a big pimp. By the way, YouTube don't, I don't try to use swear words because YouTube they
Right, I'm sorry. I'll do that too. I'm sorry. I have a trouble
Yeah,
cussing, EJ. Sorry.
that's all right. Yeah, Dillian White's already called him out. He called him a big P. And he said, like, what kind of fighting man are you? You see your friend's dad get thrown out. You didn't do anything. He said exactly what you said. Dylan White goes, you're a fake. You know what I mean? And they had some choice words against each other on Twitter. But what I'm saying is this is like, end of the day, Fury, he's another one. He talks himself into that kind of, I'm a fighting man. Anyone wants it, they can get it there and then. But when that shit went down, he wasn't about the smoke. He wasn't about it, was he? Right? He wasn't about it.
He was a bystander when he had a family member in harm's way. He stood there like a asshole, like a coward, like a big coward in his rainbow-colored outfit.
Hey, so what? Going into the fight with AJ, what do you think gonna happen? Then, like,
AJ gonna knock him out. AJ gonna box his ears off. He's gonna get all cocky and dancing around. Otto Whalen was piecing him up. Deontay Wilder doesn't know how to fight. Fury hasn't beat nobody since a while ago. I mean, and AJ Ruiz can fight. Get me wrong, he was a little out of shape and all, but AJ's got a way better resume. He's with the same trainer forever. AJ's taking this serious. Fury's on the beach with Adrian Broner. I don't know what Fury's doing, but Fury's gonna beat him up. Fury's gonna beat him up, and I can't wait to see it.
Oh, Fury's gonna beat him up, or AJ's gonna beat him up?
Oh yes, he is. He's gonna beat him right up. He's gonna just beat him right up.
Oh, Fury's gonna beat up AJ.
No, AJ's beating up Fury. Anthony Joshua's gonna beat him up.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, you was just saying Fury. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm sorry, I get a little confused, but AJ I think's gonna hit him with a straight shot right down the middle, hit him right above the belt, right in that fat, and he's gonna take a knee, and he's gonna get real beat up. AJ's more mechanical. I get all that. They call him Mr. Robotic and all that, but there ain't much difference in hand speed. And I think Fury gets too cocky. He just is too much of a showman. He just tries to do that little bit extra. And AJ's gonna be tunnel vision, and he's gonna beat him up. That's my opinion. And I could be wrong, don't get me wrong. But I think Anthony Joshua is gonna beat him up. And this was before the incident I saw with Saunders' old man. This was before the incident. This was my prediction before that. After seeing that, believe me, if this kid gets tested by Anthony Joshua, Fury's going to take a knee just as well.
Yeah. I can see that, Chad, man. Look, I ain't gonna lie. Since you come, the numbers started to come back, boy. It seemed like I ran everyone away. I can see it already, boy. The thing is, when do you think the fight's gonna happen?
August. In August.
Oh man.
Yeah.
AJ said June, July. Now they say August. I think I don't know what they're on. I thought with the Olympics. When's the Olympics? The Olympics is supposed to be this year, right?
Well, yeah, that's what they say. I haven't, everything's been really all messed up with this whole COVID. Honestly, now it's getting back to normal. But the Olympics, the United States Olympic team ain't doing too well, from what I hear. And the amateurs ain't doing too well. I used to catch a lot of the amateur fights up here on the East Coast, and they haven't been happening. Yeah. So, but for what it's worth, I'm looking forward to this Nery Figueroa fight.
Oh yeah, that's coming up as well. Where we got, I think there's some fights today, and then the Nery Figueroa fight is coming. Which else is coming in 1 minute? Let me pull it up right here. Yeah, they got Heather Hardy's fighting later on.
Right, is that Sky Sports, right?
No, that's UFC Fight Pass.
Oh, that's UFC.
Yeah, UFC Fight Pass. Yeah, they got some boxing matches, and then they got the Nery fight, Nery versus Brandon Figueroa, Lewis Nery versus Brandon Figueroa. That's a good fight. Then they got over the UK. We got Lerone Richardson versus Giovanna Di Carlo, whatever. That's earlier on in the day. Joshua Boatsi's on that card. So we got some UK fights in the day, and then we got the Lewis Nery fight, like a Showtime in the evening. So there's some alright boxing. But the big fight, the following week, Josh Taylor versus Fengy. Who you got, man? Josh Taylor versus Ramirez. Who you got?
I think Taylor's a better boxer. I think Taylor's more skilled. I think he's got quicker hands. I think he shoots shots at better angles. I think he's got better feet. But I think he can't help himself but just hopping in a fucking... sorry for swearing, EJ. I think he can't help himself hopping in a phone booth. I think Taylor's gonna, be winning rounds. going to get around the 7th, 8th, he's going to start trading with Ramirez. And that's where I have to favor Ramirez.
But go ahead.
Ramirez is an underdog. He's plus 200. He's basically the same odds as Figueroa. Figueroa is plus 200 against Neri. And Ramirez is plus 200 against Josh Taylor. And I find things always happen in threes. You had the Josh Warrington, then you got the Josh Kelly. Now it's just kind of setting up to get a Josh Taylor. But yeah, I think Ramirez can. I think Ramirez can take him. I think he can take him if Taylor fights his fight. If he just stays disciplined, he can box his ears off and win a unanimous decision and knock him out. But I watched the Taylor clips. He likes to rumble a little. He likes to rumble.
But you know the thing is, Josh Taylor, right? The reason why I don't think he gonna do that well either. First off, he's training with Ben Davis. He ain't training with the McGuigans no more. He's not with Shane McGuigan. He's not with Barry McGuigan, who basically guided his career, picked his fights for him. He's not with them no more. And you know, he's been fighting in Scotland. He's been fighting in the UK. This is the first fight he's fighting in American shores. I don't think it's gonna go well at all. I don't think so. I think he's gonna get quit on his stool, get beat up because the Regis Progress fight was close. If that was in America, I think Regis Progress wins. It was a good fight though, but. He was fouling a lot. He was pushing Regis Progress, and I feel like in America, you would be able to get away with that. When Josh Taylor fights Thing in America against Ramirez is just Josh Taylor's got a style where he boxes, he gets in and he jumps out, or he goes to the side and he's a southpaw, but he's still upright. But Ramirez has got good head movement and he hits hard like a ton of bricks. And I feel like Josh Taylor, that point scoring amateur style, ain't gonna fare. It's not gonna pay. Remember, it's clean, effective punches. And Ramirez knows how to dig the punches in, you know what I mean? And he's really familiar, the Mexican people there. How many people from Scotland gonna be coming over? So this is another thing he's gonna have to do. Is there gonna be a crowd? And if there isn't a crowd, then there's definitely gonna be more Americans than there is Scottish, maybe. I mean, if he goes to points, I think he might win. But Ramirez knows that, I can't let this go to the points. So I think Ramirez can stop him. A body shot as well. Because I think I was looking at Josh Taylor and he didn't like Ben Davis had him running. I look at Ramirez, I see Ramirez going up the hills. I see Robert Garcia's going, so he's built for like 12 rounds. Like Josh Taylor, he's not doing that. I see him doing bare pad work in the gym. And I was like, where's all the road work, man? And that's because he's with Ben Davis, and Ben Davis doesn't understand that. A fighter needs to be doing his road work to build up his condition and the hardening. And, Josh Taylor's body doesn't look hard no more. He ain't got that kind of like thing. And like I said, I don't see him winning. I just don't. I don't see the structure. And I called the same thing with Billy Joe Saunders. I knew Billy Joe Saunders was going to quit. I said it on my WhatsApp group, and obviously I didn't make an official pick out here on that opinion. Maybe I did actually. I said round 9, he's gonna quit on the stool. Round 9, I said the first adversity the first adversity Billy Joe Saunders gonna get, he gonna think. And see with Josh Taylor, I don't think he wanna quit, but a body shot that will sit him down. It will sit him down, break her ribs. Because I saw the way Ramirez is fighting, and Robert Garcia has got him fighting southpaws. Robert Garcia is a far better coach than Ben Davis, far better. He was a world champion himself. He's Eduardo Garcia. He's had multiple world champions. Nah, man. They fight one way. They come to fight. They literally come to fight you. They can't. The only way you can beat them is you have to outbox them. You have to be very smart. But I don't think Josh Taylor can do that for 12 rounds because Josh Taylor's a fighter at heart.
A fighter at heart. I think he's got a little cocky attitude. He's already talking about his ring walk. He's talking about who he's fighting next. I don't like where his head's at. And you just brought that up with the trainers. I mean, his body does look a little soft.
Yeah.
And if this kid wasn't from England, just say if he was from Texas, this would be a pick'em fight, or Ramirez would be favored. Mm-hmm. Like Canelo versus BJ Canelo should have been minus 2,000. But there was people across the pond that thought BJ was gonna maybe beat him, and because the English fans, I have to say, they're very passionate and loyal to their fighters. And I respect that. But I think you're getting a lot of money on Taylor that I don't think is there. You just pointed out every point that makes me lean Ramirez, EJ.
Or the training, the team. Always when you look at it, You look at the fighter, you look at who's behind him. It's not like you're fighting Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali don't need Angelo Dundee. Seems to me, Muhammad Ali could have anyone in the corner. Just as long as you tell him the right thing, he'll be fine. But that's a rare thing. You know, Mayweather, he knows what's going on. You could have anyone in the corner. As long as you ain't telling him something stupid. Because I remember Mayweather fought in Pacquiao. That's it. You're doing the wrong thing. You need to fight. Mayweather was like, nah, no, I'm not. I'm doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? He avoided what his dad was telling him because his dad wanted him, nah, you ain't winning. Because his dad wanted him to go in there and properly whoop Pacquiao's ass. He said, nope. I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. Mayweather knew he was in cruise control, and he.
But you're talking about fighters all that are smarter. You know, some of the smartest fighters that ever lived. The freak of physioids.
Yeah, what I'm talking about in respect, I'm talking about fighters, and this is what Customary says. When you train a fighter to be independent of you, that means they can make up their mind in the ring. They don't need you to tell them what's going on. Mayweather doesn't need anyone to tell him. He knows what's going on. He just needs you to give him the water and, you know, make sure everything's going fine. Muhammad Ali's the same. You know, Muhammad Ali was the one who figured it out. Like, they didn't tell him that game plan. All through the training camp, Muhammad Ali's I'm going to move, we're going to dance. And when he got in there with George Foreman, he realized, yo, I can't move around with this guy. I'm better on the ropes. The ropes are real slack. I'm going to lean back and, you know, I'm going to make this dummy hit me, you know. And that's what I'm trying to say to you. So, you know, the game plan, sometimes you train, but the fighter realized, no, this is working. I'm going to stick to this. And that's what I'm saying. And, you know, Josh Taylor is one of them guys there that he's a fighter at heart. He has that pride, that Scottish pride. And, you know, Ken Buchanan is not like that. You know, Ken Buchanan's a very intelligent man. When he fought Roberto Duran, and I'll tell you what, you know, Roberto Duran's lucky. Yeah, I mean, you know, he got the belt that day because, you know, he's considered one of the greatest lightweights, but he didn't give Ken Buchanan a rematch. I mean, you took his undisputed lightweight title, but you never gave him a rematch, right? Ken Buchanan was winning that fight clearly. He got hit in the balls, and, you know, whatever, they couldn't continue, and they took his belt, and he didn't give a rematch, right? Josh Taylor, on the other hand, is different. He's a fighter. He boxes, but he wants to fight. And that goes right into Ramirez. Do not, you know, just, what's his name? Ben Davis say, just box him. That, you know, eventually you're going to say, yo, I have to put hands on this guy. Let this guy know that I mean business. You know, you have to come to fight. And that's what Ben Davis said to Tyson Fury in the first fight with Wilder. He made Wilder box. It was Freddie Roach in the corner said to him, nah, you know what? We had enough of boxing. Let's go forward. Let's see. And Ben, no. Keep doing what you're doing. Because Ben doesn't understand about, you know, is what you call in boxing in-ring adjustments, where, you know, you're doing something and, you know, you change it up in there. You should have like 3-4 game plans in there when you go in a fight, ready to change it up. You know, you understand that. Ben Davis doesn't understand that. And, you know, this is why.
And that's the separation of the greats. And you're saying this, and that's what I'm seeing. Taylor doesn't have that on the fly, in between punches to adjust, to play chess like they're chess players, the Ali, the Mayweathers, the Pacquiaos, you know, the Arguellos. These guys were chess players in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Pernell Whitaker.
Yeah, that's what I'm finding. Whitaker, exactly. You know, Pernell was on cruise control. You know, when he was fighting Chavez, he was winning so easily. He thought I didn't need to do any more than that. I mean, if you told him it was going to be a draw, he probably would have went for the knockout.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, the reason why they probably
cruise control.
Yeah, it was cruise control. But the reason why he probably didn't is because he didn't want to end up like his other Olympian, like Meldrick Taylor's like, yo, I ain't gonna try and do that.
Right.
He might catch me some shit. So then he just did what he did, and he got the draw. And he's like, yo, what I gotta do out here? Well, you gotta do what you gotta do what Oscar De La Hoya did. You gotta kill that. You gotta kill him. You know what I mean? You got actually flatten. You know, Oscar De La Hoya, when he got his chance to get Chavez, he didn't play no games. He wasn't letting this guy go to no scorecards. He went in there and smashed him. You know, he smashed Chavez. And people, I was upset, but that's what you gotta do with him. You gotta treat him like trash, man. Drag him down the aisle like a dirty rat. You know, you gotta go in there and dog him. And that's what, and Oscar De La Hoya got a lot of hate from it, but he didn't want that thing. What happened to Partner Whitaker? How are you gonna get robbed on the scorecard? So I mean, when you fight Chavez, a legend, you have to bet. That's what Hans did. Hans did that to Duran. When Tommy Hitman won him.
Oh God! That was the hottest punch Duran ever took.
He realized, because look at this, right? If you look at Duran when he finished with Hagler, look how he was standing in defiance. He knew he lost, but it was a moral victory because he went 12 rounds against one of the most fierce middleweights ever, and everyone was doubting Hagler. Hagler was pissed. That's why when Hagler fought Hearns, he said, "Yo, okay. You know, Duran got away with it, but I'm gonna take my frustration out on Hearns." And you know, that's how that fight was so good. But you see, you know, when Hearns got opportunity against Duran, he said, I'm not, he ain't gonna mock me. I ain't gonna have none of that. I'm gonna seal him off right away, right here, right now. And that's what you do with some of this. That's what you do. Like, so you see Ramirez? But I was listening because they got the thing on show on Top Rank, right? I was listening to the build up, and I'm watching this year, and I'm looking at Ramirez. He looks like a mean ass.
Yeah,
he looks like, you know, remind me of Marcachio.
You can't judge a book by the cover. You can't judge a book by the cover. But I looked at a picture of the two, like they did a post thing, like Top Rank did something, and I showed my buddy. He just left for Las Vegas. I showed my buddy before he left. He's putting money on the fight. I said, Steve, I said, I know you can't judge a book by the cover, but which one of these dudes looks tougher? He started laughing so hard. He said, that fucking guy's gonna kill that guy.
Yeah, that's what he looks like Margarito, bro. He got that look.
He has a Margarito look, and he's taking this fight real serious. It's in his country, you know, and this guy's coming across the pond.
Yeah, he's underdog.
He's an underdog.
Yeah, and you know the thing about he's looking at it like, this guy's taking food from my table. And the thing is, his last fight with Posto, he's getting criticized because
I think Taylor though didn't come from much though. I can't take that away from Taylor. I think he is still hungry.
Man. No, not no more. He won the
not no more.
No, when he won the World Series, he got 50.
He's been a rock star for a minute.
Well, no, only when he won the World Boxing. Right? So let me tell you, you know what? This is why he left the McGregors, right? He won the World Boxing Series, right?
Those are the best in the world, I think, right? Those are the best in the world. Best in England.
Yeah, they're the best in the world, right? Regis Progress, all them guys, right? So when he won that tournament, right, he got 50 mil. Now, out of that 50 mil, listen to this now. Out of that 50 mil, do you know how much money he got? He got less than half. Listen to this, right? Barry McGuigan, right, and his son. His son got 10%. Barry's brother, the manager, got 25%, and then Barry was the promoter. He got 25%. So altogether, that's what 50-60% of his money. That's why he left him. He was like, "Yo, I got 50 mil, and I got to give you 60% of my money." 60%. So that's why he ain't with them no more and went with MTK, because MT don't take no manager fee, and then he makes more money with MTK, and then with MTK you get Ben Davis. But with that, you might pay less money, but now you've lost all the experience. You know, the guidance.
Right.
They would have guided you away from Ramirez. They wouldn't have you fight Ramirez. They'd probably have you defend the belt in Scotland against someone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They get another paycheck. Say let hopefully this pit bull across the pond, you know, gets beat up before he gets to you.
Yeah.
Let him defend his title one more time.
Yeah, I mean, look at Frampton, right? He fought Leo Santa Cruz, right? It was a good gamble, and Frampton won. But the second fight, Frampton was so overcome with the first fight, he thought, I can do what I want in the second fight, because you know
against Harron.
Against Leo Santa Cruz, right?
Right. Frampton.
Yeah, Frampton. But then Frampton
the Jackal.
Yeah. But when he left Barry McGuigan, and then he went against the Harron fight, and he wasn't with McGuigan's no more, and that's why he lost. He went up a weight, and he went against a southpaw who looked like he might quit, and then that's why they went against him. But he weren't no quitter. He might have quit normally, but he weren't going to quit in that fight. And because you know what he did, the Harron smartly. Look who he went up with. He went with Terence Crawford's team. He went with what's his name again, Bomac, and all them guys. That's smart. That's very smart. So when he went with them, they gave him renewed confidence and said, "Look, man, we ain't gonna quit." And you know, Josh his name again. He went with Martin Murray and them guys there. They ain't got more experience than them guys. They weren't gonna.
Am I wrong in this one? But did Ramirez fight the hooker guy that fought Ortiz? That Maurice Hooker did.
Yeah, he did. He did.
And Hooker's a tough kid out of that Bomac camp.
Yeah, he is. But Hooker, Hooker stylistically and everything like that, it was
right.
Ramirez knew he could pin him up, because Hooker, he's very good boxer, but again, if you get past the long arms and stuff like that, you can start beating him up. A lot of them guys are like that. They're very good boxers, but when you hit them, they fade, man. They fade. And Josh Taylor's gonna be the same. Josh Taylor's a very good boxer, but when you hit him, I mean, look at his eye. Do you see the fight? Do you see his face with his eye? Regis Progress. It was like, see, his eye was massive, right? And he never quit again. He never quit. But when Billy Joe Saunders got the same thing, he quit. You know what I'm saying? So, that is so. Chad. So anyway, Chad, I'm gonna bounce though. But man, Chad, we're gonna catch up tomorrow evening. We're gonna catch up on the fights there, the Lewis Neary fight, and definitely the Joshua Boatsy fight, and them ones though. So, hey, Chad, you got a channel?
Yes, I do, sir. Yes. And EJ, I got to thanks again for having me on, and shooting your shit, getting your opinion. Honestly, it's great, great shit. I love the boxing game, EJ. Much respect from Portland, Maine, man. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, man. What's your channel's name?
Mad Chad Boxing, I think. That's what it is, man.
There you go, man. For the people, hey, make sure you subscribe to Mad Chad Boxing. I'm gonna subscribe. I didn't even know that. I'm gonna subscribe myself after this. And it's always a pleasure to have you over. Hey, your Portland Trailblazers. I don't know if you watch basketball, man. They lost a close game.
No, that's a Portland, Oregon. That's the other part of the country. I'm a Boston Celtic fan, New England Patriot, Boston Red Sox.
So there's a Portland in Boston.
No, there's a Portland in Oregon. There's a Portland in Maine. I live in the state of Maine.
Oh yeah, in Maine, yeah. That's where Tony Atlas is from. He's from Maine as well. I think
Lewiston, Maine. Yep. Tony Atlas, Joey Gamache.
Yeah, Joey DiMaggio was from Portland, Maine as well.
Joey Gamache, the guy that fought Gotti, almost got killed by Gotti, trains Otto Whalen, and I think he trains Teofimo a little.
Wow, man. See, there you go. Some history, man. Match out giving the history right there. Hey, man, appreciate you coming over, man. I can tell you.
Thank you, man. Have a great night.
You too, man. Take care, my friend. Take care. So make sure you guys subscribe to Mad Chad. Yo, man, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you give the thumbs up. You know what I mean? It's been how long has it been? 3 hours, going 4 hour hangout and stuff like that. But, going back to the initial topic, actually, then, what we're going to do? We're going to finish off with my man. What's his name again? Caleb Plant. Yeah, we're going to finish up with Caleb Plant, giving his last couple of words. And, Canelo, in my opinion, can mix with the greatest super middleweights in history. And, he can rock with them. In my opinion, he can roll with some of the greatest. So let's hear some of his last words. And, we're going to call it a day. So, Caleb Plant, let me hear your last words, bro.
Again, before we spoke about your experience, do you wish you had a couple more fights, or is this fight coming at the right time? Do you feel like you're peaking right now?
I do feel like I'm peaking. It was different this last outing with no fans in the crowd. That's not something I'm used to, and I really feel like I perform best when I'm under the gun in front of all the fans. And with the hand injury, it was disappointing, but I feel like in a fight like this, I feel like I'm ready for whatever. I feel like that I'm coming into my prime. I have 21 fights, and again, I've maybe lost 4 rounds in my whole career, and so it's going to be hard for you guys to gauge just exactly how good I am. And like I said, I'm ready for that fight, and I want it.
No, you're right. You bring up a great point. It is hard to gauge because I think a fighter like you raise your level when you raise your level of competition, and you need someone to like push you into those deep waters to show what you really have. Right? You're probably going to find out things about yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to agree with you. Like I said, being under the lights, being in front of the crowd, I really feel like that brings the best out of me. And, sometimes you fight in these big fights, especially coming off the Nashville fight with having so many fans there and, so much pressure on me, people asking for tickets and, everybody pulling me this way, pulling me that way. I feel like, honestly, that's when I fight best. And to go from that to fighting, in literally just a quiet environment, no one there, it's almost like a sparring match. It was different. And then to have the hand injury on top of that, but, like you said, and like I said, it's going to be hard for you guys to gauge me because I haven't even lost any rounds really in my whole, professional career. So I'm excited to get back in there and get the fans a big fight.
Obviously Billy Joe Saunders suffered a catastrophic injury, a complete orbital blowout, had to have surgery and a metal plate inserted in his face. He faced some criticism from some fans for not continuing. Obviously, I'm not a fighter. I'm not going to dog anybody. I think he has a family and everything. But as a fighter, what were your thoughts?
It did seem like sometimes people are quick to call someone a quitter, and then you hear people then you hear afterwards that he had like multiple fractures and in his orbital bone. I've never had my orbital bone broken, so I don't know. I'm not really going to concern myself with that. I'm just focused on myself and what I have going on. And but as far as for the rest of the fans, people who haven't been in the ring, people who don't lace up gloves and never have, they don't use these to feed their family. That's that's a big statement for people who don't fight.
Yeah, I think it's out of line from people. I mean, this guy, you know, you're talking about your lip going numb, your face going numb, your vision, and all you guys have families, and you guys are risking your lives for our entertainment. So people need to be more respectful.
With that being said, you know, I have had with Jose, you know, in a big fight like that, catching a bad headbutt in the 4th round, you know, and right after that, knocking him down. You know, sometimes in a big moment like that, and you know, I don't know what it feels like for sure. So, but in a moment like that, sometimes you got to keep going. And I do know that he caught a lot of flack for, I guess he was talking about calling somebody else a quitter. Daniel, what's his name? Who fought Jojo? Yeah. Calling him a quitter and things of that nature. And it turns out he had a broken orbital bone. So, you know, I can understand where people are giving him some flack for that.
Yeah, and injuries, you mentioned your hands. How is the hand feeling now? Because I know you showed a lot of power in the past. People were criticizing you for not stopping Caleb Truax, but I'm sure the hand played a big part of that.
Yeah, it did. And, you know, also I've had some hand injuries where there's been a big crowd. And a lot of times when there's so much more adrenaline because you're under the gun, you don't feel pain as much. You don't feel, though, you know, the cut from the headbutt or, you know, certain injuries. But, you know, when it's a sparring session and you hurt your hand to that magnitude, sometimes you can feel those things a little more. I feel like that I've shown my power in big fights against Jose Uzcategui and, you know, other fights as well. But so like I said, it was disappointing for my hand to get hurt, and especially in that environment. But you know, if me and Canelo fight, it won't be that environment. I think it'll be you know, a lot of fans, and so.
Yeah, and lastly, we know Canelo Alvarez likes to fight on Mexican Independence Day weekends. So right now the target is Canelo Caleb Plant, September 18th, maybe at Allegiant Stadium, the home of the Las Vegas Raiders, which will be the first fight at the stadium. If that happens, what's your message to Canelo?
Just be ready. Just be ready. And that's all I got to say. Just be ready. I'm coming, my friend.
All right, yeah, that's exactly what Canelo said to you the other day. You threw it back at him. We appreciate your time, Caleb, and we hope you get the fight.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
We'll be right back after this.
Thanks again to Caleb Plant. He was a great interview. We really appreciate the time. And look, this is obviously a guy who's supremely confident. He always has been. He has incredible self-belief. If you aren't already, you can follow Caleb Plant on Twitter at SweetHandsPlant and on Instagram at Caleb Plant.
Yup. So that's it, man. That's Caleb Plant. That is it, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast. Share it around, man. Respect, man. Mad Chad. Make sure you sub to my man. There you go. And that's it, man. I'm EJ Boxing Live from the UK, as always, trying to keep it 100. And Canelo Alvarez, in my opinion, can match with all the super middleweights, of all the great super middleweights in history. And, you know, we have to see, you know, when he becomes undisputed, I think he's going to be ranked well up there in the top 10 of the super middleweights. I'm EJ Boxing Live. You take care of yourself, people. Peace.